my time, faster than ever, hungry and I'm going to come back and take what is mine, bigger and better. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Some things are different, but nothing has changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. Saddle, cut to the chase. I ain't somebody who stays in one place. Ready to go, I'm coming to play. You better know I still got something to say. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Some things are different, but nothing has changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. match I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, cause you know that I was born for this. I was born for this. Never met a match I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, 'cause you know I was born. I tell you I was born for this. Ain't nothing gonna stop me now. I was born for this.
Over 40-plus drivers ready to go for one of the most prestigious short-track races in America. Yesterday, after 15 tries, Peyton Sellers was able to pocket $32,000 and his grandfather clock for the driver to Danville, Virginia, in the real Valley Star Credit Union 300. And it's only fitting that the Major Series, presented by Majors Garage, has their portion of the Virginia E300. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to iRacing on LSRTV, simulcast on the Community Radio Network, and we're ready to go for 300 laps. How is that done? You'll find out from our Mick Reynolds of LSRTV, Brockton McPackard, in just a moment. But first, we welcome you in. I'm Wesley Outlet. I'll give you the coverage here tonight, joined alongside by my good friend from Savannah, Georgia. Go Bananas, Terry Radford, and of course, Charles Wooten, Jeff Stabnow, behind the scenes with the social media interaction and the broadcasts. Terry, over 40-plus drivers ready to go for one of the prestigious short-track races in America, the late models at Martinsville. This is going to be a fun virtual ride tonight at the Paperclip.
Yeah, and you know, it kind of stinks that we don't get to see anybody throwing any haymakers there on pit road a little later on, but hey, it is virtual. Maybe we'll see some people blow up in the chat and get mad at one another. But yeah, 41 drivers come out here with these late models, and you see on your screen, if you're watching at home, you saw a driver get loose and spin out here. That's where we're going to see that all race long. You're going to see drivers get hard on the binders. The back end's going to want to kick around. You got to really whip these cars to get them to turn in or rotate through the center here. It's going to be a pretty interesting race, especially with the amount of laps we're putting down here.
So it is go time. How is 300 laps made up at Martinsville? Well, it's just like on the Saturday race yesterday on Flow Racing, with the winner again being Peyton Sellers. Also, the Motor Racing Network broadcasted the race. Brockton McPackard, and good evening to you, my friend. Let's tell them the tale of the tape. How will 300 laps be determined here tonight at Martinsville?
Well, first of all, good evening to you too, Wesley, and I'm happy to be here at the virtual Martinsville Motor Speedway. Tonight, we're going to have a couple different things going on. First thing we're going to see, apart from this hot lap session, we're going to see 3 to 4 heat races, 25 laps in total, 10 from each, 25 laps in total. 30 drivers will advance to the main event. That's 10 from each feature. And then finally, Wesley, 200 laps around this half a mile paperclip. That's going to be the most exciting event of the night. And it's going to be a long one and a tough one for all these late model drivers.
Yeah, when you got 42 drivers now, I believe, that are signed in, making their final practice session opportunities, you're going to have these 4 25-lap heat races, and these are going to be some hooligan races, Terry. They're going to fight, they're going to claw, taking the top 10. There might be 1 or 2 drivers that might not make the field for the 40-car field when they take the green flag, because, hey, them 25-lap heat races, not only are they important to use as an opportunity to figure your car out for the long run, but in addition to that, you're going to fight and advance for every position that you can, because the more cars you pass, Terry, that gives you a better starting lineup in this race.
Yeah, it's really what's going to make this entertaining, especially when the heat races start. People's nerves start to get a little jittery. We're sitting at 42 drivers right now, and we've got to whittle this down. We've got to whittle this down to 30. So you're going to get some guys that might not be fast on the practice sheet. I mean, you look down here in the back. Obviously, they're going to have to. It's going to be like a snake style in the heat. You look back here at 34th, Stacy Hunter. Roger Sank. Some of these drivers that are back here in the back, well, one, they better hope that their race trim is better than their one lap hot lap, because yeah, they ran a 20.68, but that's almost 5/10 of a second off of your leader right now in practice. So hopefully that they figured something out, and I think we're going to end up messing around. It's 2 heats. We might mess around and see somebody do an old dump and run.
So there's going to be 3 heat races. I'm finally getting final clarification on this. There will be 3 heat races. There will be the top 10 transferring into that race. And then there will be a 5-minute warm-up, and that will make the 200-lapper. So honestly, you could call this the Virginia E275 because it's hashtag fake news. We're missing a 25-lap segment, which would either be the 4th heat like yesterday, or what used to be the 3 25-lap heat races, and then the 25-lap last chance race. That's a spoiler there, in my opinion, because I thought the last chance race would be pretty cool to call. But 3 10-lap heat races, and then, of course, the top 10 transfer, 30 drivers going in to the Virginia E300 here tonight for the Martinsville Speedway next round of the Major Series, presented by Majors Garage American Sportsman Bracket. By the way, this race is benefiting Stack Up. Veterans are our mission. Gaming is our passion, and we want to thank them so much for, again, Stack Up being the proud charity. As always, every event that they do, they have a charity sponsor. Stack Up, doing things for the veterans, is the one that's going on today. Weather conditions in the sim here tonight, bottom right of the monitor. Air temp here at virtual Martinsville Speedway, 71 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Sun's going to poke in a time or two as well. Wind speed comfortable at 5 miles an hour. Track temp at 88. Should be an exciting race. And let's look at your keys to victory leading up to this race. We'll look at the point standings in a few moments, but obviously I'll grab the first one. Terry's is on the second, and of course the third one is our buddy Brockton McPackard. My key to victory, number 1, Terry, keep the car clean from damage and make sure your passes count on track and in the pits, because everything you do will determine whether your fate will be at the end of the 200-lap feature, for sure.
Yeah, and one of the best keys to victory here is keeping it clean, but you also got to save your tires. Save. This is the last, once you get to the last part of the race, you only have 3 sets. There's only 3 sets of tires that's going to be in here. Obviously, you're not going to continuously go from, the heat races to whatever with them, but when you start this race, you got to make them count, because you can't go out there and be aggressive on lap 1.
Yeah, we know keeping your car clean is always something you need to worry about. Tire saving is something you need to worry about. But if you look at the map, and if you look around this racetrack, over 50% of this racetrack is pit road, so you have to make sure you do not speed going around this. It's going to be hard not to, especially if you get green flag pit stops, and do not go a lap down if you get caught in a closed pits. That's a bad thing too, so make sure you get in, get out, understand what you need to do, make sure your game plan is laid out for you, like we saw last race with those 2 drivers having a solid run and a great strategy. Make sure your strategy is lined up for this week.
Getting ready ever so closer for that first 25-lap heat race to lock in the top 10 for the Virginia E300. We're also exactly at the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of network identification from Martinsville, the Major Series, iRacing on LSRTV, and the Community Radio Network at wearecrn.com.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway. We're getting you settled in here at the top of the hour for the events that is the Major Series, presented by Majors Garage, American Sportsman, and it is the Virginia E300 here in the virtual Martinsville Speedway. While we get ready for the final time clocks to tick down, let's look at the point standings leading up to these races. We'll go through them very, very quickly. The Sportsman overall national standings, a battle now close to under 50 points between David Gargaro, Nathan Medina, over, many points behind. By 200 plus is, of course, Mr. Maurice Gomillion, Cody Richardson. You see the rest of the rundown of the top 20. Let's look now at the Legends point standings. This is for the veteran racers. Maurice Gomillion has about a 68-point lead over the driver of Robert DeLoach. Everybody else is on the outside looking in. It's going to be the Gomillion DeLoach show. And finally, for one more look, the overall team standings. It is Mad Sim Racing with a nice comfortable lead, but not by much, as 60-59 the total for Mad Sim Racing. Forge PC Racer Sport 1. If they could have a good night, Terry Radford, they got a chance to climb the ladder. And Vengeance Motorsports is not too far from the outside looking in. There's a look at your point standings presented by LiveSimRacingTV.com for the American Sportsman. And Terry, your take on these points, because although it looks like some drivers might be out of it, there's still a big opportunity for some drivers to try to climb and make some upsets.
Yeah, you're never really out of it, especially when you come to a place like Martinsville. Anything could happen here. With the track being as narrow as it is, one driver gets loose, spins out, it just makes a small overcorrection or an overturn here. And that could collect a bunch of people. And also track position is also going to be huge here. So if they manage to qualify a little back in the back, they even might miss the race. So who knows?
Thank you to whoever it is inside the chat box for the Majors Garage on our YouTube feed for giving us the official info there. So it will be 3 heat races, top 10 from each heat, advanced 25 laps. And I will say this, though, Brockton Packard is qualifying, is on track right now with Drew Lalonde on the speedway in his Chevrolet. Qualifying, does it really mean anything?
Maybe for a couple people, especially if you want to be in that first half of the field, maybe go for the pole. Get that starting position up front in Heat 1. That'll give you the best shot. But let's be honest here, Wesley. It's 200 laps eventually around this paperclip. We know there's going to be beating and banging, and I think it's really up in the air. I don't think you need short run speed. I think you need that long run speed. So in my opinion, qualifying's not really going to matter.
Yeah, we'll check in throughout the night with our analyst of this race broadcast, Brockton Packard, on the program. We call him Brockton Mick Packard. It's kind of like our Larry McReynolds for the LSRTV broadcast crew. Here comes now Mike Oliouellette on the speedway, the Chevrolet number 86 machine. And here's something else we haven't really talked about, hinted on. This race will start around 6 p.m. Eastern Sim time. Terry, that's just for the start of the heat races. Once we move into the transition of the night, this race will start right before nightfall. From dusk until darkness, this race will end with the lights on, illuminated virtually around Martinsville Speedway, or at least that's the plan, under the lights to have the winner here tonight in the Martinsville E300.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much I love iRacing, especially with the fact that the transition is there, that you have the opportunity to do what NASCAR did, obviously in the playoffs a couple years ago, where this race had a little rain. They instilled some lights. We saw a night race for the first time at Martinsville, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. And iRacing was like, yeah, we'll put it on. And they throw it in here, and you get transition races where it's daytime right now. You're going to watch this race change. You're going to watch the track change, and you're also going to watch the temper start to change too, because once the nighttime falls, old Larry Mack over there at Fox says that the nighttime's the right time to race.
And the freaks come out at night, and definitely the tempers come out at night as well. So we'll see how all that transitions. As qualifying is under 2 minutes, by the way, for the Virginia E300 here for the Major Series. For right now, David Gargaro Jr., 2014. Just put down a pretty good lap. Austin O'Neill, 2018. Brockton, I bring you back into the fold, buddy. Let's talk about the logistics for these drivers and the format for this race for tonight's Major Series Round 12 for the Martinsville, Virginia E300.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are going to be doing, like we mentioned earlier, 3 heat races with 25 laps each. That's going to be quick succession laps. They're going to be getting in and out as quick as possible, trying to get this thing rolling. Those top 10 are going to move on to our 200-lap feature. That one, Wesley, is going to be the long one. These cars have a lot of weight on them at 3,100 pounds. Their tires are kind of thin for some stock car tires, and also they've got 317 horsepower under those hoods. These things are going to be a little bit slippery as the runs go down, and of course, Wesley, these are open setups, so I would be seeing a lot of adjustments throughout the night.
And real quickly, the race-specific rules for this event are a little bit different than other major series events as they try to mimic what every real event does. Tires are limited to 3 sets, including the starting set here. Green-white checker will be on at the 200-lap feature. 2 attempts at a green-white checker is max. Restarts at all times are double-filed with lap cars at the tail. B-main, any drivers who failed to make the A-main will join the 200-lap B-main, but I guess that's for the race that we are not broadcasting. That's the non-qualifier event. And by the way, if there's more than 60 drivers that qualify for any division, the field will be split in halves, pre-qualifying sessions, and we get the A squad. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the field is gritting for the first of 3 25-lap hooligan last chance races, the heat races that'll make the lineup for the 2022 running of the American Sportsman Major Series Virginia E300. Let's give the starting lineup. On the pole, David Gargaro Jr., the number 4 to the outside. Andrew Kotska in the 047. Row number 2 will find Maurice Gomillion in the 044. Matt Sisler in the 93. Row 3 will find Jason Lottridge in car number 3. Mark Redeker in the 462. Row number 4, Drew Lalonde in the number 3 to the outside. Jerry Isaacs in the 51. I think we've got about 16 cars, so I'll let you pick up the next row there, Terry.
Yeah, you got Daniel Salim Howard back there in row 5 with Patrick Steindez outside. Go back here to row 6, you got James E. Dean and Mike Ollett. Brett Trizin and Javier Perez Torres back there in row 7. And that rounds out your field.
There's your starting lineup, 14 cars. Yeah, I was thinking 16, but it's 14 cars. 14 cars, 25 laps, ready to go in the first preliminary of the evening of the Virginia E300 for the Major Series. Pace car will give them 1 more lap around the racetrack. They'll get at least a lap and a half preliminary turn before they come to green. This will be the one to go indication this time by. And you've got David Gargaro Jr. right there flanked on the inside of the number 4 car. To the outside of him, the 047. Right there alongside. That's the driver, of course, of Andrew Kotska. Top 10 out of 14 going to the show. Brockton, real quick, buddy. You got 14 cars. 10 make it in. 4 guys are done for the night.
Yeah, if I'm in the middle of the field, I'm just going to say, ride it around, hug the bottom, and don't let anybody around you. If I'm in that bottom 4, you better go like hell.
Ready to strap in and hold on tight. Pace car makes the hard left-hand turn out of the pit lane. Here they come. Gargaro, Kotska, front row. The first preliminary of the Virginia E300 coming to the Geico starters box. Green flag goes in the air, and we are underway. 25 laps. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to settle in the top 10. In they go into turn number 1 and 2. Terry, it's Gargaro. Kotska, Gomillion. There's a nice battle for the top 4 single file. Behind the top 5, though, it's really heated off 3.
Yeah, you see the 3 getting down there. He's going to try to work that bottom and kind of bring what Brockton said there is you want to pinch that bottom. You don't want to let anybody underneath you. You can kind of pull the Ross Chastain here and get up to the back bumper of somebody and maybe wash them up out of the groove. But, oh, man. Oh, is that the 462 almost smacked the wall right there. It's able to get back down to the bottom in front of the 13. And you see the side-by-side between the 51 and the 13 of Isaacs and Loladon. I think that's how you pronounce that name.
Top 7 cars right now staying single file, and it's Lalonde Lalonde in the number 13 car as the wheel field. Well, they're out single file for the time being right now. Nobody really jumping out of line. There's Lalonde's car in that dog bear entry. Behind him flanked is Isaac. It's the number 30 car, about 2 cars back of Howard. He's in that transfer spot. Dean on the outside looking in, and the conga line is just at the bottom of the racetrack in the early going.
Yeah, I would expect a guy like Dean back there. He's about half a second off of Howard in 10th. If he gets to the back bumper, desperation time's going to set with about 10 to go. So then you're going to be like, okay, maybe I could drive it in just a tad bit deeper. Maybe I can sail it in and maybe dime in the corner just a tad bit. You see Dean here; we're on board with him now. He could go just a little deeper. I see Howard up there. He's sailing it down to the bottom. And yeah, Dean's listening. He's sailing her.
On board with James Dean, and I don't think that's the celebrity from back in the 50s either. James Dean of the 06 car, making his run now, trying to run down Howard to go to that transfer spot as they work their way to the back straightaway in turn 3. Brockton, we'll check in with you real quick. 20 laps to go in the first heat race right now. Everybody, for the most part, playing clean, playing nice in this starter of the race.
Yeah, but it's not a question of who does it first, but who does it, or when does it happen, excuse me, not who does it first, but when does it happen. I've been watching Dean all race, and he's just been diving it down there, but he's been suffering on exit. The guys behind him have slowly been able to encroach on his rear bumper, and eventually he's going to miss that center of the corner and lose that spot.
Gargaro Jr. still the man out in front. Konska go millions. Lottridge is the top 5 as we're riding on board now from the back panel with James Dean on the outside looking in, but still comfortably in 11th there. Terry back to 1, but holding everybody else behind them at B of Torres, Oliolette, and Trauson off the corner.
Yeah, Brockton brings up a really good point about you diving it in here at Martinsville. This is a racetrack that you have to be kind to. You have to be gentle on entry so you get a better exit. The more he sails it into the corner, the worse it's going to hurt his center off speed. So, if he kind of just backs it down a little bit, and I'm sure somebody's going to go, well, that sounds crazy. Why would you slow down to go faster? Well, it's actually true. You'll rotate better in the center. You'll allow the back end to catch, and then it'll allow you to rotate better. You see right here, the 25's able to gain on him on exit, but he wasn't able to gain on entry, and you'll see it here as well. As he's going to dive it in with him, but he's able to pinch it down to the bottom, and look at that exit speed off of 2. He's going to get closer and closer to the back bumper.
10 laps in, 15 to go. Coming up in about 3 laps to the cross flags here in heat race number 1 for the Martinsville, Virginia E300 for the Major Series American Sportsman. Gargaro leading, and here's now this battle heating up for position going on outside the top 10. Probably best battle on the racetrack. Dean under attack now by Torres and Oliolette, trying to run him down as they work their way through 3, exiting turn 4, and we're halfway home now. 13 down and 12 to go. Terry back to 1.
Yeah, halfway home. Nothing going on so far. You see the transfer battle. It's kind of cooled down a little bit. You don't see a whole lot of battles, but you see the 86 a whole lot. And Torres starting to have a little fight back here for the 12th place position. It's just a group of nest of cars. They were the bottom in practice. It's no surprise to me that these 3 are back here fighting amongst themselves. You have Trauson back there in the 944. He's about 13 seconds off. He's about 6 seconds off of this pack. So these were the ones who were a little slower in the short run and the long run speed of the race.
Yeah, pretty good solid run right now for the driver of David Gargaro Jr. as he still continues to lead the way as we watch all these other cars in the back of the pack. Not really anything really happening right now, except maybe the battle for 7th place as Lalonde, the 13 car, now getting some company from Mad Sim Racing. Here comes the 51 of Isaacs. He is trying to reel him in. He's got his teammate there with him behind him of Mr. Steen. Those drivers trying to go after them in the back straightaway. Oh, and mind you, we're 10 to go here at Martinsville.
Yeah, for this only setting, where you're going to start in the race for the top 10, don't be too aggressive. you already know you're in, and you're a long ways away from the transfer. Somebody trying to pass for the transfer, you got almost a second and a half up over them. So don't be too greedy. It's one spot. And Brockton made a good point, especially here in the starting race. you qualified for your heat race. Now you know that you're going to start on the inside row in this one. So you'll be set here on this way. We'll set the outside row on the next one, and then we'll kind of pick in between in the middle, depending on what they do with times or whatnot. But don't be too greedy. Just take her easy. Pump the brakes a tad bit.
And Brockton, as we close in on 8 laps to go, here comes this now battle heating up between Kotska possibly running down Gargaro. It looks like he's definitely put on the afterburners to try to run down the leader of the 4, who has dominated heat race number 1. But Brockton, I was going to bring you back in here real quick with under 7 to go. This is a great opportunity for these drivers to figure the car out, at least in the opening 50 laps of the daytime portion of the 200-lap feature coming up this evening.
Yeah, Wesley, and these guys are going to feel what a fresh track feels like into rubbering up. These other guys are going to feel that rubbered up track. So with a green, quote-unquote, green racetrack, these guys are going to have the best idea of what tire wear should actually be like during the race. And that first 50 laps, like you said, will most likely be under a sunny, regular kind of feel to it. So I think they have some of the best data to go off of and some of the best feels to go off after this one.
Field works their way off of turn number 3 and 4. They'll come to the line. It will now be 21 laps up on the scoreboard. 4 laps to go now for David Gargaro Jr. Kotska, though, trying to run him down. The battle of those 4 and 0.47 down the back straightaway, Terry.
Yeah, and the 0.47's he's been consistently faster. He's been over, 3/100ths faster. Nothing too crazy, but at Martinsville, that's a lot. Because of how short this track is, the more you get in the corner, you see that ticker on the pylon down there starting to go down. He's got it down to 0.2 of a second. That's one entry to a corner. That's an exit off a corner. And especially if you're a 10th behind him, he could potentially put the bump and run on him with about 1 to go.
Field comes to the line. It's now 2 laps to go for the driver of Mr. Gargaro. Kotska right there trying to reel him in. He's got an opportunity, and he's coming quicker after him as they work to the back straightaway, coming for the white flag in heat race number 1, Terry.
Yeah, the only way that the 4 is going to be able to hold him off is to sit there and wrap that bottom. White flag's in the air. I think the 4's got this unless that lap traffic backs it down a lot.
CRN 1 to go, final time. Here comes Kotska. He looks on the outside, back to the inside. They hit the back straightaway. David Gargaro Jr. now cuts the lead to about a half a second. Here comes now, or half a car length is what I meant to say. Kotska can't get there. They do overcome lap traffic, but it doesn't matter. Heat race number 1 at Martinsville for the Virginia E300 is going to go to the Chevrolet number 4 of David Gargaro Jr. Let's show you real quickly the results. David Gargaro Jr. the winner. Andrew Kotska second, Maurice Gomi in third, Matt Sisler, Jason Lottridge, Mark Redeker, and Drew Lalonde, the top 7 of the 14. You got the rest of the rundown, Terry Radford.
You got Jerry Azepek there in 8th, Patrick Steen in 9th, and David Howard is going to round out your top 10. The 4 going home in this race is James Dean, Javier Torres, Mike Olet, and Brett Trozen are your 4 that are not going to advance.
Yep, that's exactly right. Those 4 drivers will not transfer in. Their night comes to an end here after the end of a 25-lap heat race. We're ready to go now into heat race number 2. Let's give you the starting lineup on the pole. The number 1, Austin O'Neill to the outside. Cody Richardson in the 064. Been a strong driver this year. Jeff Cardamon in the 314. And Robert Campbell from the Northwest Series. Remember, Northwest Cup and Truck Playoffs, round 3, tomorrow night and Thursday from Iowa. Gerard Gilbert of the 73. Matt Gelder will fire off for the 69. Row number 4 will find Mark Santana, 333. Brian Shrivner, the number 70, the first 4 rows of Heat 2.
We go back here to row 5. You got Roger Zank, and then Richard McClure, Don Donaldson, and Andrew Vega. Scott Kuckus and Ronald McPherson rounds out row 7.
Another 14 cars ready to go. On track. Pretty good run by David Gargaro Jr. These drivers will settle in. Track has a little, tire wear on it from the previous heat race. We'll see how things develop for these drivers and how they handle heat race number 2. Again, number 20, another 25 laps. Top 10 will transfer. Thanks for those that are watching on our YouTube feed. We're also iRacing on LSRTV. We're simulcast on the Community Radio Network. Terry Radford, Wesley Outland, Brockton Packard joining us on race analyst information. Great work behind the scenes as always by our Rocket Media live sim racing production crew of Jeff Stabnow and Charles Wooten in the board right now, punching the buttons as we speak. Lights off for the pace car. Pace car about to make that dive on the left hand of the pit lane, entering turn number 3. And we're ready now for the second 25-lap heat race of the Virginia E300. This time it's O'Neill and Richardson on the front row, ready to come to a snail's pace to the firebox, coming to the line. Flagman awaits, green flag, and we're underway. And the whole shot will go to O'Neill on the bottom of the racetrack in the turn number 1.
Yeah, practice-wise, Richardson was actually been able to keep up with O'Neill lap time-wise. I'll kind of see. We saw in the last race that the long run really progressed there for the second-place driver. Maybe, just maybe, that'll work there for Richardson if he just settles into second. No harm, no foul. Just let O'Neill go burn his stuff up.
Timing and scoring has him in a 1 car, but he's actually driving the number 11 on the racetrack. Richardson there behind him. Cardamone in the 3rd spot. We'll go all the way down with Gamble, Gilbert top 5, Gelder, Santana, not Carlos, Shrivner, Shank, and Dolson are right now your top 10 that have made it in. On the outside looking in now, Dolson, McClure, they battle going on in the back of the track of that transfer spot.
Oh, that got hairy. Oh, big pocket. He's going in there. Yeah,
into the wall. Whoa, slamming into the wall. Kukas and McClure. How bad do you want 10th spot? And you just saw what happened. You know what? Here's the deal. Here's the deal. You should have waited on maybe 2 laps to go to make a move not like that. Brockton, I bring you to the fold. That was maybe just a little too early, my friend.
Yeah, that was definitely a little too aggressive for, lap 3 of 25. Now, both of them have pretty major damage as we're going to look at the LSRTV replay. I don't know what this was, guys.
He hooked the left rear, never backed off. You can see the 85 car. He just said, hey, man, you're going to do that to me? I'm going to run you up the track. Yeah, and here's the deal. You can literally see from the replay. Maybe we can show it one more time. Maybe we can show it from on board with the driver of the 85 car of when he turned him. I mean, you can literally see the 85 car. He turned him, and he got to the left rear. Terry, he did not back off, and he just literally ran him right down the racetrack with the 84 and the 2 cars hooked each other. Watch it again.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm sitting here watching this. I watched the 84 get loose there off the exit corner. Yeah, I mean, the 84 threw a block, and
he did, but he could have lifted. And 85 could have lifted. You could have.
No, you absolutely could have. But I tell you right now, you block me like that, I'm probably gonna do the same thing. I mean, I'm on the sim. I'm on the sim quite often. I jump out there, I race, and it's when it was Daytona week. Yeah, maybe in the first little bit, I'm gonna lift for you. The first 20, 30 laps, I'm gonna back out of it. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. But you're racing for a transfer position, and if you don't make that pass, then this track is a little hard to pass. Brockton alluded to it earlier. If you don't make the pass and that car in front of you is able to wrap that bottom just a tad bit better than you, you're gone. He's gone. So get it while it's good. And
my take is I think it just happened a little too early. It happened a little too early. And I've come to the conclusion after working with you for the last month, Terry Radford, it seems like you have a lot of anger in your life.
Listen, you blocked me, and I said this to somebody over the radio in iRacing. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You block me, I'm going to make you wish you didn't block me. If you're blocking me on lap 5, if you block me on lap 5, you better be prepared for the consequences, because I'm not lifting for you. You are not owned an inch on this racetrack. If I'm there and you want to put yourself in my spot, you're going in the wall. So I'm just telling you, that's how I race.
Charles, this might be a great opportunity to put a poll into our broadcast on the YouTube chat box. A poll. Was it too early? The wreck that happened, was it too early? Or would you have done what, Terry said? Hey, all is fair in love and war.
That's right. All's fair in love as well. I'm using that.
All is fair in love and war, Part of the pun. I'm sorry.
If you want to block with at lap 5, I promise you it's not going to end well, and it didn't.
That's true. We'll get ready to have the film come back to the. We're polling the audience. I'm about to vote myself. All right, here we go. And by the way, don't forget to vote in November. Coming back to the Geico Restart Zone, and we're going to try this again here. Yeah, Charles, you vote. Everybody vote. Was it too early to wreck in that race? Yes or no? My answer is yes. Harry says no. We're 50-50. It's like it's like hot dogs or hamburgers. What do you prefer? We're back to green, by the way. Heat 2. Oh, never mind. Hashtag fake news under caution again. And who has wrecked this time? Is it Shank? Caution out. We'll find out here. And that's the old cliche there. Brock, can I bring you back to the fold? That's the analogy of cautions breed cautions, my friend. One lap in and another yellow flag waves again.
Now we've seen two very different heats already. One that went green through and through, and now within a span of about 10 laps, we've had two cautions and one back-to-back. And just kind of to go back to that last wreck, I'm with Terry on that one. If you're blocking somebody that's already halfway down your car, you deserve to get turned.
That's
Yeah, you're a traitor.
I'm only saying it because I've done it before.
I'm not saying that you got to turn his frustration. And yeah, although it's entertaining and people love it where he's throwing punches inside the cockpit of the car, and that made the highlight reel. Yes, if you really want to let a man know what you think about what he did to you, let him climb out of his car, put up your dukes, and then you guys go at it. But then by that time, it's all became all a show, and the NASCAR officials are going to break it up. They're not going to let him start fighting.
Well, I mean, if we go back to the old days, NASCAR didn't get famous off of their racing.
That's right.
And I know that's a crazy thing to say, and NASCAR people are going to be like, oh, Terry, you're crazy. They got famous over a CBS race where two drivers are throwing hands in the middle of the track, and they didn't care. And that's what NASCAR shouldn't be about that. But if a driver's getting real hot, NASCAR, when they were at Texas years ago, when Jeff Gordon and Brad Keselowski and all of them got the big skirmish, well, guess what? That was the most views NASCAR had seen on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, because they watched real emotion come out and just absolutely be on display.
Yeah, and guess who started
it?
And guess who started it? Kevin Harvick. He pushed
Keselowski
in. He did. He's a dick. Hey, by the way, 60-40, by the way, as we get ready to come back for the restart here in a moment. It is 40% yes, 60% no. We're ready to go to green, and it's single file now as we go back to the restart at Martinsville. Halfway, caution laps do count. And we have 11 laps to go now. Let's see if we can get this one to the finish, guys. As O'Dell has led probably more laps under yellow than green. And he's coming to 10 to go. Look at this battle now. 950, Shank and Scribner going at it again. And here we go, McLaren then back in the battle one more time.
Well, the 85 got popped up the track a little bit. He tried to go a little too low there. Oh, hey, that's how you force your way in there, because now it just opened the door for the 85 to potentially get caught back up. But the 84's not on the lead lap, so it doesn't really matter what he does. He needs two more cautions to get the wave around.
He is just bumping the back end of the 950 of Shank's car. And now the 84
he wants that wave around.
He wants the wave around. By the way, they're a couple of laps down. He is. Now Kukos is back in the fight. That's that yellow 85 car, but he's on the outside looking in. Along with Scribner. And they come to the line. 8 to go here in heat number 2 at Martinsville Speedway virtually. The Major Series. American Sportsman bracket. And we got a car sideways. It's Kukos. And he has smacked the wall. You hear him slamming the safer wall barrier. The Ukraine number 85 machine. He quickly takes a toe to the pits to not allow a caution to come out. And we got 7 to go now, Terry.
Yeah, that was smart thinking there from the 85, just to get off the track, go to pit lane, do your business down there. Don't interfere with the race. O'Neal has taken off to a massive lead. He's over a second and a half on Richardson there in the 064. But this 11's on rails. If I was the competition and I'm watching this, I'm circling him because he's got some blistering pace. He has only fell off a tenth of a second. Granted, we haven't put very many laps on these tires, but it's still good pace.
Yeah, it's a very big caution-filled lap event here for heat number 2. And down to the home stretch now with 20 laps in and 5 to go for O'Neal. The O'Neal car number 11 down the back straightaway. Molasses Chevrolet leading the way. Richardson in second. Everybody behind Scrivener, in front of Scrivener, I meant, are going to go to the show. If you're behind them like McPherson and others, now is the time to do this. And that's what happens. That's what happens, man. You see? That's what happens. McPherson and Vega get together. Caution is, are you serious? They ain't through it. There it is. There's the caution. I was about to say, what in the world? McPherson to the 409. And I ain't talking about the window washer spray. Vega goes around. And that's what happens, man. In the words of Stewie from Family Guy, Terry, that's what happens. This is when you start to get a little aggressive and maybe put the little bumper to somebody. Now that's allowed.
Now we're going to see. And you see right there, it just looks like he parked the bus in the center and didn't get a good exit. And the 409 really, I would say, had nowhere to go there. That didn't look malicious or intent or nothing. It just got to the inside, and there's nothing you're going to do, especially when the car is that slow on the outside. But this is when, tempers are going to start to flare, because now you got O'Neal and Richardson right there. They're going to be back nose to tail. And then you got the rest of the field for the transfer spot. It's not going to be a good time.
Look at this. Oh, hey, Brock, did I bring you back in here as we show one more time a replay here? Is the 2 attempts at a green-white checker for the heat races as well, or is that just for the 200-lap feature?
No, we do have 2 attempts for the heat race, and big hit, and that is a hurt engine for that car for sure. So he's coming down pit road, smoke bellowing out the front end of that machine. So yes, to answer your question, Wesley, we do have 2 attempts at a green-white checkered, and only 2 cars, or actually 3 cars, are still. Okay. Never mind. Sorry, my timing and scoring was a little messed up. There are only 10 cars on the lead lap as of right now, Wesley.
I just say throw the checker flag, let these 10 cars go to the feature. I don't think they're done wrecking yet, okay? You giving them the opportunity at 2 green-white checker overtimes, you just literally just put fuel on a burning barrel. Ants, I'm getting tongue-tied here, but you just literally let the barn get torched, okay? You ever heard of the term, torching the barn and killing the rats? Well, yeah, I think we're going to see some more torching here.
Well, now that they know all these drivers are going to make it, I mean, McPherson's 2 laps down in 11th, Wesley. All 10 of these drivers are making it, whether they're torn up on pit road, they're a lap down, whatnot. They're making the feature. So why not? You're not hurting the guy. If second wrecks the race leader, okay, big deal. He's going to make the show, but he's going to start a little bit deeper in the field. Why not? Let's see a good old-fashioned, an original green-white checkered. We don't have to go into overtime here just yet.
Yeah, not yet. They're gonna. I think actually, it will be when the green flag flies. It will be 2 to go. So this will be the first attempt because they are letting caution laps count.
Yep, there it goes. It added.
Yeah.
I forgot caution laps counted here.
Yep, constantly keeps adding here. So the lights are off for the pace car. We'll settle in for the first attempt of the GWC. By the way, somebody take my side. Somebody just say yes and say yes and vote. And if you do, it's 50-50, and I'll accept that. Okay? Right now, Terry's winning 60-40, and I don't like it.
That's it.
I'm sorry. I think it's too early. I thought it was just too early. Ready to come back to the Geico restart zone. First attempt of 2 green-white checkers if needed. And look at O'Neal. He probably got the best restart of the heat race right now as he fires away from everybody in turn 1, Terry Radford.
Yeah, he sure did. It kind of bottlenecked him a tad bit. They slowed down, but got great acceleration. And you see the battles back here in the back. hey, you're not having a race for much, so, have at it.
White flag in the air, this time by CRN, 1 to go. Taking 10 in heat number 2 at Martinsville. O'Neal hits the back straightaway. Strong car, holds his marks. Terry coming to turn number 3.
Yeah, he comes through 3 and 4. He's led every lap, and he's going to continue to go on. He's going to start outside front row here. Austin O'Neal gets the win in heat 2.
How about it for the Molasses Chevrolet, number 11 of Austin O'Neal? He'll get it done. And you see Richardson, all these other drivers down the line. Catermane, Gamble, Gelder, Gilbert, Santana, and I don't mean Carlos Santana either. Dolson, Shrivner, and Shank are all going into the Virginia E300. The other drivers, other 4, we can at least acknowledge them and say goodbye. Oh, I guess they're having technical difficulties.
Long,
we're ready now to go. Final heat race preliminary of the Virginia E275. I'm sorry, I got to tell the truth. It's Virginia. Let's go. Nathan Medina, man, right in the points battle there at Gargaro on the front row to the outside. The 27 of the 723 of Bryce Roberts. Row 2. We'll find Chris Yedio in the 17. I got a short version for his nickname, Yeti. And Ken Tuk Lung in the 295. Row 3. Stephen Paulus and another friend of ours like Gamble from the Northwest, the 58. Sector 5 entry, and Ernie Ludwig there. He'll start in the 26. Timothy Klaus in 42. Greg McEnany, the 35, your top 8.
Coming here to row 5, you got Joseph Homan and Robert Courtney. Stacy Hunter, a guy I know from the PRL, down here in row 6 with Mark Mafadam. Stephen Harkins and Andy Spicer. That's our field.
That's our lineup. Yes, sir. Brockton, what do you think, buddy? One more preliminary.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to see which route they take. The survive or the drive is what I like to say. Will they go green for 25 laps, or are they going to wreck everyone and only have 5 cars on the lead lap again? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure we'll know by lap 15, Wesley.
And by the way, as the field gets the 1 to go indication, I disappointedly announced that the polls are closed. And, Terry won the election.
I finally wanted something.
Who lost the steering wheel? Oh, wow. Well, pace car's in. We're ready now for the final preliminary of the Virginia E300 275, actually. Here they come out of turn number 4. Count 25 laps of practice, and that'll make your 300 lap total. Green flag, we're back underway. And look at Medina. Look at that shot going to turn number 1. That's a beautiful angle there. As he's got a Hornet's Nest behind him in the back straightaway. Yedio inside, Roberts outside. They battle door to door to the 3rd spot. Ken Tuk Lung. Oh, there's contact. Oh, he saved it. Look at that. Yedio and Roberts. But I'll tell you this much, though, Terry, he gave him room. And that's the difference of what we saw the last time. I don't know if this guy's going to give enough room, though. He tried to go 3 wide.
Oh,
we got him spinning.
Oh,
we got
no.
one going upside down. Oh, my goodness, the 16 of Homan. He is airborne. He is barrel rolling down the back straightaway.
He needs some Blue Emu for maximum pain relief.
It works fast.
Blue Emu's not going to... Blue Emu's not going to fix that, fellas.
But hey, I will say I mispronounced the name. I'm sorry to McFadden. I'm not very good at names.
Oh my goodness.
This is just a cluster.
Watch this.
Oh.
I mean, look at, they were already spun out in front of him, though, man.
Oh.
Man,
What a hit from the 71.
And somebody just punted him in the other side of his you-know-what and just said, I'll help you fly through the air.
Well, I tell you what, we got 10 drivers that are going to advance, and the rest of them are on pit road.
Yeah, 4 cars are out. Hey, process of elimination.
Sometimes it has to happen that way, and we only got 4 laps in. So we know who our 10 are now.
Brockton, they don't get a fast repair, do they, buddy?
I don't believe they do, but I just want to say, boys, I called that one.
You did. He did call that
Yeah,
one. He said
right.
we were going to wreck. He did.
I
He go watch
I
the
did.
show.
I said we'd know by lap 15, and we knew by lap 3, so.
We
Hey, by the
knew.
way, we're
We
being
knew
sent
early
to,
who was going to finish.
We're being sent to grammar school. Thank you, Sally Hammond. I guess it's McFadden is actually it's pronounced McFadden. So where the hell did the Y go? Okay,
I'm not very good at names, and so when I started seeing some of these names you said to you, I'm kind of hoping every time that our producer clicks to the next one that either A, he talks to me and tells me the name. I don't know. My mom's watching, so I can't blame this on Alabama education because she's watching.
Sally,
she'll probably hit me.
So you see, Sally, this is not my fault. That was not me, okay? McFadden, by the way, is on the track. And, oh, man. Hey, can we go on board with a 16? Extended replay. The caution lights are still on. The flip, the 16. Homan's car. Flying through the air. First flip count of the night at Martinsville like the Chili Bowl is at 1.
And it landed in perfect timing, too, with the blue emu
Watch
sign.
this. Watch this right here on board. Look at this, on board with him. Yeah. Yeah, vengeance. Oh my goodness, I can fly.
Little Mountain Dew and blue emu action.
Yep, I'm flying through the air now. This is not good.
Yeah, this sticker's super inconvenient, but I sure do love blue emu.
I thought it was Fig Newtons.
They followed me on Twitter, and I.
Do you know what blue emu is? Right, blue emu. It's
Yeah.
what the old Blue
Yeah.
Star medicated ointment used to be. Right, they got bought out.
Yeah. I use blue emu.
I think he got
I use it all
fired.
the
Yeah,
time
he
on
got
my
fired.
shoulder.
Bubba Wallace did lose the sponsor, Blue Emu. Yeah, on his iRacing car for a sim
Well, hopefully
race.
this gains me sponsorship. I love him.
Yeah, here we go. Let's go. We're going back to the other great sponsor, Geico Restart Zone on the wall. Yes, green flag. And we're back at it again at Martinsville. Let's try this again with 19 to go. Look at Medina, man. I think he's got the strongest car of anybody on the restarts for the 2.
Well, he's starting up there on the wall, which is something that you don't normally see here. He'll go into turn 3, and he'll go all the way up against the wall, and then he kind of cuts down where you see the Xfinity Series sign there. He'll gun it right there, like right when you touch that restart zone, which is super smart. But I think we're about to have a battle for that transfer position if Roberts can keep up with Courtney here. This could be huge. He's there.
Yes, it is, man. It's on like gravy and biscuits down into turn number 3.
Oh, he hit him.
Whoa, he drove in there. Wow. What a move there by Spicer. He's ticked off. I wanted to say the P word, but I can't. Look at him. He's saying it, then you do it, right? Off of 2. By the way, closing in on 15 to go, 10 laps in. And this is probably one of the most aggressive heat races. The last 2 heat races, honestly, Brockton, they've been pretty heated. Interesting.
Yeah, these guys are running really hard, and it's hard to tell if it would be better if you just let him go or not, because that 797, I think that is the 797, or the 723, excuse me, he is fast, and he knows it because he started in the first couple of rows, so he's just trying to get in front of Andy Spicer, though.
14 to go now.
He's going to move him. He's going to move him. It's going to happen.
This is a good battle here now. Roberts is setting Spicer
Spicer's
up.
high.
Spicer might take his own self out as he was trying to go after Harkins. Down into turn number 1. Halfway, by the way.
Yeah, I think we lost complete control.
Yeah, look at that transition he had off the corner. I think he was trying to get a run on him here.
He's driving it very deep. It kind of sounds like to me that he's trying to overdrive it to not allow Roberts to get underneath him or get to his back bumper. But the more he saills it in, you see him, he's sideways. He's having to control it a little harder. And the 723 is going to get the run here off the exit.
Roberts inside, makes the run. on Spicer. I think Spicer might have been a little too more aggressive trying to find a way to run down Harkin's car. And in doing so, he just goes to the back. And Roberts takes advantage, moves to the number 10 spot. By the way, 10 laps to go next time by here at Martinsville, and Medina is got about a 2-second lead over Yedio in second.
Yeah, Medina's really, really fast, but right here for Spicer, we got 14 back here for a second. He burnt his tires up because I'm sitting here and I'm watching his lap times, and he actually fell off quite a ton. He didn't really have good short run speed as it was. His lap time really wasn't there, but he's dropped off almost 0.2 of a second when it came here. So his overdriving into the corner just allowed the back 2 tires to get heated up. He's not getting a run off the exit.
All of this happening now with 9 laps to go. Oh, look at this traffic in front of them. Did you see that? Is that the top 5? Wow, they are all like right there with one another. Paulison on pit road, sector 5, 58, Mission Control. We're coming to you hot. 8 to go.
Yeah, he had a ton of damage on that right side. And then he kind of just bottlenecked the field right there in front of him, trying to slow down and come on pit lane. This is a difficult pit lane to enter because you don't have very much time to tell your competition that you're coming in, or you're going to get ran over. And this almost allowed 3 drivers sitting inside this top 5 to just chew each other up here. So, wow, this race is kind of turned upside down. And by the way, the 14 transferred in so far.
All this going on now, and Spicer got his spot back as Harkins kind of falling back. Roberts got passed by Harkins. Klaus drifting back also. And let's be honest, with Paulison in 12th, McFadden in the number 13 spot. And of course also Homan back several laps down, 3 laps down for McFadden. You pretty much got your top 10 locked in right there. Be patient. On board. Who are we on board with? This is Yedio, Chris Yedio. Correction, it's Greg McInerney in the 35, on board with him. Yeah.
That's a big
got
old
on that VR headset,
right
by the way. Yeah, VR headset. And once again, it don't matter whether it's fall. He's still got right by the air conditioner right there, Terry. What do you think his number's at right now?
I mean, if I had to take a guess, I ain't got very good vision, but let me put my little thinking glasses on. That thing is set to 60 degrees. That's exactly
60,
where my wife will have it out. My wife, I'm telling you, will open the windows at 30 degrees outside. No heat, no nothing. And then I've got to put another layer on. Like, come on, it's cold in here.
It is. 2 to go. 2 to go, by the way, for all you polar bears out there. It's time to go hibernate. Medina, Yedio, Kentuck, Logan, Ludwig, McInerney, your top 5. And they're coming to the line. And the CRN 1 to go. 1 more lap to go for Medina. Wow.
Medina's on 1. He's on 1. I'm going to be real with you. I think the competition, they might have watched the O'Neill before this. They need to watch Medina. He's fast, Wesley.
Big old fast man from not Pasadena, Nathan Medina comes to the line, and he will win at Martinsville in heat number 3. There's your top 10. Everybody else behind them are laps down or more. Of course, it's Medina, Yedio, Kentuck, Long, Ludwig, McInerney, Hunter, Courtney, Roberts, Harkins, and even Spicer, who got a little road rage in the early going, somehow comes back to battle back for that final transfer spot. Hey, we got about 5 minutes in the warm-up practice session before they get ready for the 200-lap feature. That is going to allow us to step away. We're also closing in on the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of network identification and go to commercial break. This is the Major Series presented by Majors Garage on iRacing on LSRTV and CRN, the Community Radio Network.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
This is our series,
So many different pieces that you have to watch out for.
where the stakes are always higher,
$300,000.
where virtual meets reality,
How bad do you want it?
They're wasting no time getting at it.
where the best thrive and the flawless win. This is the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outlet up topside at one of the great racetracks of the world, the Caraway Speedway. And I'd like to remind you to join us every Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern to 3 p.m. Eastern with coverage of Finish Line, where we talk to everybody from NASCAR to grassroots, like right here at Caraway Speedway. Carolina's Fox Sports Radio affiliates, iHeartRadio, and on the Community Radio Network at 87.5 FM. And remember, thanks to Live Sim Racing Productions, you can actually see the guest panel, ask their questions, get interactive with us with comments and so much more in our chat box. Finish Line every Wednesday. Join us every week.
Your CRN, my CRN, our CRN. We are CRN. The Community Radio Network now and the new WCRN 87.9 FM. And still always anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN. Welcome to the Community Radio Network. Follow us always via social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CRN Sports. Plus, listen to the new CRN 87.9 and still anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN.
All of the preliminary heat races are in the books here. Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway. Coverage of the Major Series presented by Majors Garage for American Sportsman bracket. Round number 12 on the season. And tonight it is, of course, the Virginia E300. Of course, it is benefiting the great people that are involved with the Major Series and so many more. And, of course, the charity we have to mention is Stack Up. Veterans are our mission. Gaming is our passion. Thanks again to Stack Up for being a part of doing the charity for this prestigious event. I'm Wesley Outland. Of course, we've got Terry Radford alongside Brockton Packard, our driver, race analyst, Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wood, Rocket Media, Live Sim Racing, running the broadcast and on CRN. Brockton, I bring you back to the fold here, about under 2 minutes away from the Virginia E300. Your take of the heat races, and what do you take in this 5-minute practice session to prepare for what we're going to see next?
Well, the more laps we seem to run on this paperclip, the more chaotic it gets, and now we're going to put 30 drivers on the track, so I can only expect a lot more chaos, Wesley.
What do you think, Terry Radford?
Yeah, I got to agree with Brockton that everybody's going to be after something. You've seen 3 very fast drivers in 3 heats. They're going to be vying for one position, and there's going to be a lot of wrecks.
You think so? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Our producer literally just jinxed us. He said we're going to go caution-free. Thank you, Charles, by the way. Oh. That's exactly right, yes. All transactions are final, by the way.
Yeah, he kind of jinxed me like my employees did. Have you ever cooked a pizza on a grill? My employees asked me if I could make a pizza on a grill today, and I tell you, it doesn't taste good.
Getting ready to wrap up this final 5-minute session, and the Martinsville, Virginia E300 is about to get underway. 200 laps. It's time now for the big one. And the field is gritting. Take your pick. Who is going to be the one that wins this thing? Should be exciting, should be fun. We're glad to give it to you. Starting lineup of the Virginia E300 for the Major Series. David Gargaro Jr. and Austin O'Neill on the front row, your heat race winners. Row 2, heat 3 winner, Nathan Medina. Then you go 1-1-1, 2-2-2, 3-3-3, 4-4-4, because I can count. Andrew Kotska will start 4th. Cody Richardson 5th. And Chris Yeddio in 6th position. 3rd place finisher of the heats include Maurice Gomillion, Jeff Carnaman, row 4, and Kintuck Lung. Matt Sisler will make up row number 5.
You go back here to Robert Gambill and the 54 machine with Ernie Ludwig back in row 6. Got Jason Lottridge and Matt Gelder rounds out row 7. Greg McEnany, the AC man himself, with Mark Redeker. You got Gerard Gilbert and Stacy Hunter rounds out row 9. And rounding out 20th place is Drew Ladon and Mark Santana.
Row 11, Rob Courtney in 22, Jerry Isaacs in 51. Row 12, Don Dawson, the 040, Bryce Roberts, the 723. Row 13, Patrick Stein in the 89, Brian Shrivner in the 70. Row 14, penultimate row, Stephen Harkins in the 40, Daniel Salim Howard in car 30, and the final starter of 30 cars, Roger Shank, 950. Andy Spicer just making it in on the outside of row 15. And ladies and gentlemen, as the music comes to a close, that is your 30-car field starting lineup for the 2022 edition of the American Sportsman Major Series, presented by Majors Garage, Stack Up, Virginia E300. It is go time. 30 virtual charter members of the Fraternal Order of Go Fast, ready to giddy up and gallop on a paperclip. Who will survive? The virtual race for the clock is on. Green flag in the air. We're underway at Martinsville.
We taking bets on when the first caution's coming out, Wesley?
No, shut up. We was Team Vengeance up in front. We can take bets on that. Lap number 1. Already a lap in this time by, and David Gargaro Jr. leads the opening lap here in Martinsville, Terry.
I'm going to go with lap 9. No, never mind. Oh, no, we turned him.
Campbell got turned, slams in the wall. Roberts involved. Another car flips.
Flip number 2.
Out now at 2. Oh, my. Caution out.
I had to say it. No caution.
Wow. Did they not throw a yellow? Oh, my goodness.
We're still
no
green?
No caution. It's hashtag fake news, Terry. No caution. It doesn't count.
My prediction's still good for lap 6. We got 3 more laps to go for the wreck captain.
Doesn't count. Watch the replay, though. Watch this.
Oh!
Oh, my. And then look who comes in and flips. He's out of nowhere. Where's the guy that flipped? That
looked fun.
And, yeah, you say that. Brockton, I bring you in the fold. A little too aggressive, but Team Vengeance out in front early here on lap 5.
Yeah, a little bit too aggressive too soon with the 54 and the 29 there, but or the 26 that was. But yeah, these guys up front, they just have to keep it clean, and the car going up and over, I believe, was that of the 39 possibly? Not 100% sure, but yep, it was the 39 getting flipped by the 54, so tough break for some of those guys.
And some, who said lap 6? Roberts goes around. Yes. Lap 6, 7:23. Oh, wow! Was that Spicer? He just got T-boned for nothing. I mean, I'm a fan of T-bones, but it's steak. And then we got extra crab walking to come along with it. Caution out. Let's see what happened. Oh, wow. Terry, I think he might have got his vengeance back on him.
Well, the 30 cylinder in there.
Yeah. Howard cylinder in there. Roberts had nowhere to go. Now watch this. Look at how do you like your steak? Well done, medium well. What in the world? The 70 car.
Race over.
Brian Shrivner. Look at him. And now you like seafood? Let's go crab walking, shall we?
Yeah, I don't think he's not coming back in this race. They're
8 of 200.
they'll all be out there.
My goodness, my. Wow. Well, 2 laps, 2 cautions. Well, actually, correction, this is technically the first caution of the race here tonight at Martinsville. It's it. Oh, my. And
Well,
by
I guess
the way,
we can say this is more entertaining than the Cup race.
hey, by the way, Charles, go ahead and put a new addition on the itinerary of caution information. It's called the flip count. Flip count is up at 2 now here, Terry Radford.
I say we might get 4 or 5 before this is over with.
And by the way, our poll between you and I is a 50-50 split.
I mean, for the people that are out there that do a lot of this iRacing stuff, I'm sure at some point in time they're going to realize, you know, they've been in this situation before. If you block, you have to be prepared for the consequences. Anytime you throw a block, whether it's necessary or unnecessary, there's a 50-50 chance they're not lifting. And in my case, it's about a 99.99% chance that I'm not cracking that throttle for you. And when you come over the radio and you hoot and holler, wah, I was clear, this. Well, obviously you wasn't, because you got turned. You didn't get turned because I just wanted to put my nose in there. You got turned because you wanted to come down. You were too busy listening to your music, your Taylor Swift or whatever, and you didn't want to listen to the spotter say, hey, you're not clear, that I'm down there. And you went in the infield. I didn't. You did. Now your race is over because you couldn't pay attention. There's mirrors for a reason.
Because the player's gonna play.
Rant over.
And
over.
the hater's gonna hate. Terry's gonna shake it off.
And now I can add that. I had the producer sing in my ear a little Trace Adkins. I can say that I have now been sung Taylor Swift on a broadcast. There's another check mark for me in broadcasting.
The next time that I hear that song, I'm going to think of you, Terry. I don't know if that's good or bad. Here we go. Pace cars in. Team Pigeons up in front. Gargaro and Medina on the front row. Back to the Geico restart zone, and green is in the air. Yes, and by the way, folks, I know I can't sing, okay? I'm just telling you. Just a little. Hey, Charles said I could. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hey, look at this. Gargaro, O'Neill, Medina. Look at this. He just split the Vision sandwich in 2. He moves to second. O'Neill did. Lap 12, back to 1, Terry Radford.
Yeah, that was a really good restart there for O'Neill. He had the bottom, which is obviously the preferred lane here. You don't want to start on that outside. But I would be afraid if I was a lot of this field if Medina actually took this lead and had control of the restart because of where he was restarting and the heat that he was in. So this is going to get more and more interesting the further we go if the 27 can take the lead. Because if he does, I think it's bye-bye birdie.
Bye-bye birdie. Like Smoking the Bandit down into 1 and 2. And look at Gargaro. O'Neill behind him. Medina only fitting the top 3 cars are the 3 heat race winners. Looking strong. Team Vengeance looking really good there, Terry.
Team Vengeance came out here with that. They came with a vengeance. They want to lead every single lap. And for the Ford machine, he's just running right now a virtually perfect race. He's not worried about what Austin O'Neill's doing behind him, even though, these drivers are running, identical lap times. They're obviously up front for a reason. They won their heat, and they didn't just win it by Gargano won it by a small margin, but the other 2 won it by a convincing margin. So say what you will, but these top 3 are there for a reason.
Gargaro down to the inside, bottom of the racetrack. By the way, you see him sporting the number 3 on the right rear panel of the number 4 car, an homage in memory of the great intimidator Dale Earnhardt Sr. He told me he was going to do that for this race specifically because this is short track racing at its finest right here. This virtual sim version of the. I encourage you get a chance when we watch the battle now going on between 10th, 11th, and 12th. Lotbridge in the 3, Gelder in 69, And Kit Lung in the 295. Look at this going on here off the corner. But I encourage you, go back, go on Flow Racing, check out the real Martinsville Valley Star 300 from yesterday. And then when you're done with that one, Terry, or before, watch this one. For those that are watching live right now, we thank you.
Well, I tweeted out that, hey, you know, the Cup race at Texas might be boring, and virtually so, because Texas is a boring racetrack, and
Actually
something
been
that
pretty
should have been
entertaining tonight, buddy. Yeah, the turbulence are awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just want to let you know, 6 laps to go at Texas, and after a weather delay, it's been very eventful, by the way, Terry. There's been cars wrecking. Chase Elliott's wrecked. Cody Ware crashed hard and crashed in the pit road. That's right, just like Heat Race 3 again. But I will tell you this, though, Terry, I don't want to go off subject too much because we got some awesome racing here and going on with a battle now for the number 2 spot here as Medina trying to close in on O'Neal. But I will tell you, bud, it's 5 laps to go at Texas. Tyler Reddick is leading. We got a car spun. The 93 of Sisler goes around off of turn number 4. And the yellow flag will come out here for the second time right near the Geico restart zone. Sisler around. But by the way, Terry, under 5 laps to go at Texas, Tyler Reddick is up in front, leading the way.
Yeah, I think you got a lap ahead of me. I got it on the phone next to me. And Texas has never been, it's been eventful, but eventful for some of the wrong reasons.
I shake it off.
You see the 93 spinning around there. He still went a lap down. So the 93 still goes a lap down because he was not up to speed by the time the leaders got past him. So he becomes the first car 1 lap down. And luckily he missed any contact. He just looped it.
Here's a replay of why we're under caution. The 93, watch him here. This is about a lap prior. Working around the racetrack. All of this going on.
He caught the curb. Nobody hit him though.
And yeah, great piece of driving by everybody to miss the 93 when he did go spinning out of turn number 4. That's again the driver of Matt Sisler putting us under caution. Hey, 24 laps in, coming to 25 on the board. Still 175 laps to go. Caution count, by the way, is at 2, along with the flip count at 2. Look at those caution laps. No lead changes, though. Nobody has made an attempt, Terry, to go after David Gargaro Jr. What a strong guard that number 4 has been so far.
And I'm not too sure that anybody's going to make the pass this early. I think if you're Austin O'Neal or you're Nathan Medina, there's no sense in it. You know, you can make the pass a little later on as long as you protect that top 3. Obviously, pit stops are going to happen somewhere around 100 if they do come down. I know they got to stop for fuel. I think Brockton might have something on that of what the fuel range is in these cars, but it's going to allow a reset. You know, some people might take 2 tires. It's not an unpopular choice here at Martinsville, but this could get a little interesting to see what these top 3 do as the race continues.
I'll tell you what, Brockton, back to you, buddy. Short track racing at its finest. Whether you're a fan of All Is Fair and Love and Wall, or if you like good, hard, short track, rock'em, sock'em robots, this is truly some virtual entertainment for sure so far tonight.
Yeah, these guys have done an amazing job, and since this is an open setup, they may not have to fill up tonight. You are able to change the amount of fuel you put into your car, so some of these guys might not have to pit for fuel, but I would be looking for some maybe tires in the near future.
And by the way, they get 3 sets, by the way, as we're 2x2 for the restart. They got the set that they're on plus 2 more in the pits. So here we go. Restart, pace car in. Team Vengeance on the inside row, O'Neill on the outside, and we're ready to go back to the Geico restart zone. Lap 27 of 200. Martinsville backing away in the green flag.
Yeah, green flag back out. And now you see the 24. He started on the bottom, so he's going to get the second place position there, and it's going to try to open the door. I thought that Kotsko was going to try to put his nose down in there, but cut that off real quick, and now you got a side-by-side battle for the 5th place position. It looks like to be the 17 of Yedio and Richardson. They're fighting hard. The 17 needs to get down because you don't want to be penciling that outside this long or this early in a run.
Yeah, Richardson, oh, there's a little contact again here. Little aggressive. That's Cody Richardson on the bottom trying to get around the 17. And I heard a slam and a bang. And that is why? Because we have a caution now. So there's something that's happened on track. Oh, my. 73 car. You got donut, man. And I don't think that's the kind of donuts anybody likes. Car number 73 putting us under the yellow flag. Maybe a couple of others. That is Gerard Gilbert putting us under caution for the 3rd time. And oh yeah, little aggressive there. Gilbert into the 462. Then he got turned, collect some more cars. And then, you know, penny for your thoughts, Chief. And let's take a cone with us.
Well, he had a nose in there. He was on the door, came down, and, you know, I think if we went with your approach there and in that instance, I kind of could have seen that the outside driver probably could have just, you know, stayed in his lane and did what he had to do on the outside lane. But no sense in coming down that early, but he did. He decided to force the issue, try to see and play a game of chicken, maybe try to get the inside line to, you know, stop their forward momentum, try to get a spot there that really wasn't his, but he didn't. And he goes around for the troubles. And now we see our driver up here who, the 93 of Sizzler, he gets his lap back.
31 of 200 laps now. Hey, let's give you the rundown as we're still under the yellow flag. Terry and I, David Gargaro Jr. is the leader. Nathan Medina in 2nd, Austin O'Neill 3rd, Andrew Kotsko 4th, Chris Yedio is 5th, Cody Richardson 6th, Jeff Caramane is in 7th, Maurice Gomillion 8th, Ken Tuck Lung 9th, and Jason Lottridge right now your top 10 of the Virginia E300.
You go back here to Rob Courtney in 11th, Greg McInerney in 12th, Mark Rediker in 13th, Jerry Isaac, Stephen Paulson, Mark Santana, Stephen Harkins, Don Dawson, Roger Shank, Daniel Howard, and Matt Gilder rounds out your top 20.
Bryce Roberts is in 21st. Timothy Klaus is 22nd. Matt Sisler 23rd. Actually, correction, Timothy Klaus is not on track. Matt Sisler 22nd. Andy Spicer 23rd. Drew Lalonde in 24th, followed by Patrick Steen, Stacy Hunter, Gerard Gilbert, who just brought out the racing caution flag, 27th, 28th. Brian Shrivner. Ernie Ludwig is 29th. Robert Gamble is the top 30. By the way, drivers that were unable to start the race was, of course, Stephen Paulison, Timothy Klaus, Joseph Homan, Richard McClure, James Dean, Michael Yolette, Andrew Vega, Mark McFadden, Brett Trozen, Scott Kokas, Javier Perez-Torres, and Ronald McPherson unable to start this race. Lights off for the pace car. We're ready to go back to the Geico restart zone next time by when the field works out of turn number 3. Back to the front straightaway. Team Vengeance, a couple of Chevrolets on the front row, led by, of course, Gargaro and Medina. They got to get closer and closer, close in on that outside lane. Looks like Medina did not fire. Medina did not fire, Terry. Gargaro takes advantage and one on more as they go into turn number 1. O'Neill on the bottom.
Yeah, that was a bit of a game of cat and mouse where the Ford didn't want to get going, kind of backed them down a little bit. They thought they were going early in the restart zone, didn't, and that allowed the one machine. Oh, they're stacking up in the back. They all saved it.
Oh, wow. What a save. No, the caution's out.
No, they wrecked even further back.
Oh, my goodness. You want us to, so the start of the wreck cleared. then it was the bottleneck effect of what's to come behind that, and you just seen what took place. Big wreck there coming on the front straightaway. Wow.
And they cleared the front. The front had its mess off before. And then you're just going to see a little further on back in the pack with the 040 and the 950. Looks like all these drivers get collected. One gets turned, goes up high, thinks they're going to miss it, and then bam, everybody else collects on the front stretch.
Typical Martinsville. Early going, another yellow flag. I think it's the 4th caution of this race. Nobody flipped that time, so flip count is still at 2. 4th caution, 17 laps. Lead changes at 0 all. David Gargaro Jr. riding with the 3 in the number 4 car. Brockton, your take of this close to 40 laps opener. You called it caution field since we got started.
Yeah, we're on lap 33 of 200, and it's going to be a long night for some of these guys. With as much damage as we're seeing in the back half of the field, that second point of keep your nose clean and don't get wrecked, that is going to be one of the most major ones we see tonight. And then maybe eventually we'll see some more action down pit road, but right now it's make sure your car is clean, and if you went down a lap early, try and get that lap back now, because we're going to have a lot of caution.
Yeah, trying to get that spot back in somehow, some way. We're not done yet. It's a caution coming out over the racetrack. By the way, don't forget, join us for coverage of the playoffs continuing on iRacing for LSRTV and CRN Sports Community Radio Network. This Monday night, Thursday night, Northwest Racing Series. Cups, cars at Iowa Speedway Monday. Trucks as well at Iowa on Thursday night. Coming soon, if you're a fan of late models like this race here tonight, the Martinsville E300, we have the return of the Crown Jewel E late model stock car series. All the people involved in that, looking forward to get back to returning to the short tracks of America on iRacing. And look forward to checking that out. I believe it's on Wednesday nights in October. Sometime in October, I think is when it fires up. So, all right, Terry, single file. What do you think the major series directors or somebody maybe have had a word with these drivers yet?
Heck no. Let them have at it. It's the majors. The Sportsman division down here. It's the Virginia 300. You know, you want to win it. It's a crown jewel to some of these guys, especially in the league setting. They worked hard on these setups. So just let them go for it.
All right, ready to come back to it again. Gargaro and Medina now teammates on the inside. O'Neill outside for the whole shot. Who will get it to turn 1? 41 laps in. Back to the corner. Gargaro, great restart. Medina powering back, trying to play wingman to his vengeance partner. Gargaro, Medina inside after O'Neill. Kotska's coming, Terry. What a move by also Yedio and Richardson. They're back to 1.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I didn't see the 4 make the same restart that he's been making here lately, where he backs up the restart zone and then goes. He actually went in an authentic restart there because he had his teammate on his back bumper, but O'Neill put on a fight on the outside, and that allowed Kotska and Richardson to close the gap just a tad bit more on that restart and finally be, for the first time, now that they're falling off, it's about 1.3 seconds to them to the leader, but it's only a half a second to them. There was a block per second, and that was a big block.
Back off the corner, back to start finish. Single file, they stay up on the wall. And you got to think too, sometime or another, we've got to settle ourselves in for a green flag run. This might be the opportunity to steer the course. Get single file, get in line, and just ride. Just ride right now. And nope, so much for that idea. Caution's out, number 5, lap 45. And a couple of cars have wadded them up in turn number 3 and 4. Let's find out what happened here. Is that the car 69, maybe? 89, Steen? 69. No, it was car 69. Look at this.
Just got turned in the center. And then he went back up at him.
Car 69 putting us under the caution, which is Matt Gelder behind you. And he is coming down to the pit lane. Now, if I remember correctly, am I right, Brockton Packard, there is no fast repair, meaning that you can get your car back good as new. You literally got to go on the clock, the damaged vehicle policy, iRacing clock, if you will, to try to get service fixed and come back out like he just did.
So I'm looking at the info tab in Sim, and it looks like they have 1 per driver, so 1 fast repair per driver, but with 200 laps, you're not even halfway. You're going to need some more.
There you go. Thank you, buddy, for giving us that update. So there is 1 fast repair given. Turn number 3 behind the pace car. And I'll tell you what, for right now, Terry, it has been all David Gargaro Jr. and Team Vengeance. I was trying to think of the words to say. This team, the last 3 races for the Major Series, and I know this is your first foray in the Major Series, but you have watched the races. Team Vengeance has been on a tear. They're always up in the front. And this race right now at Martinsville is no different.
Well, it starts with good setup builds. You know, you talked about this being an open setup race. If you're able to put a lot of laps in, and it didn't even matter if you put the laps down, you played the ad, or Charles played the ad for the iRacing Coca-Cola series. A lot of those drivers, when I talk to them during pre-race or post-race, or we just get in a general conversation, their spotter, their crew chief will run a ton of laps for them and then hand them the setup and say, hey, this is going to work and this is what it's going to do. It's the same thing these teammates are doing. They'll go out and they'll run a lot of laps to say, hey, I've got good fire off speed, or hey, you know, it's good here. You got to back it up early. And it's no surprise that teammates are up here kicking everybody's butt so far. But don't sleep on that 1 or the 11. Don't sleep on Austin O'Neill, because he's been there consistently as well, and he's not rolling over for these teammates. Every restart, he's there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, too, it's not over yet, is it? By no stretch of the imagination. Only 50 laps in, 150 laps to go here at the Martinsville Speedway. Field gets ready to come back to the Geico restart zone, ready to settle it in again. We gotta get to halfway. We're not even done yet. Back to them again at Martinsville, the late models and the Virginia E300. Team Vengeance on the outside. O'Neill, Molasses, Chevrolet at the bottom. Kotska also in this mix. They work out of 4, Terry.
Yeah, and I thought that Medina was going to work his way down in front of the 11 there on that restart, but he couldn't quite clear him. So we got stuck on that outside, and that allowed Kotska to get there. And if he can just get a good entry into the corners, and where it seems to be he's struggling at is right on entry. He's getting a good exit, but that entry speed, he's not working well. But it's allowing these two staying side by side. It's allowing the leader to get away, and it's also allowing Kotska, Richardson, and Yedio to stay right there with them.
And one wrong slip, Brockton Packard, and you've got yourself a new leader. Right now, it's just been all David Gargaro Jr., and he's not slipped on anybody, not even his teammate Medina, who's now under attack again for second with the driver of O'Neill, as we have you check in again at lap 50.
Yeah, so far so good for the driver of the number 4, David Gargaro Jr. He has just been looking forward, pulling about a tenth a second a lap on the guys behind him, trying to get his teammate back in line with him. As that occurs, we're looking at the 11. That's going to be a pretty major battle, but that's just going to let the number 4 walk away from him.
O'Neal down to the inside. Boy, it looked like he hit the rumble strips coming off that corner for just a second, and it made him check up. And this opens the door down for Kotska to close in on him. Medina will take that second spot back, not by threat. And Gargaro and Medina, Team Vengeance, again, 1 and 2. Here comes some other teammates, though, trying to reel them in. Kotska Richardson from Mad Sim Racing. It's go time here as they will close in on lap 60, Terry.
Yeah, Kotska in that first heat race was very good on the long run. I wouldn't be surprised to see that his teammate Richardson would be just as good when we get about 20, 30 laps under green flag condition. And somebody out there in chat probably is going to go, well, Terry, they've ran, this is a long run. They're 58 laps in. Well, they've only ran maybe 5 laps under the green flag condition. Then you cool the tires back down. I'm talking consistent 30 laps. If they get that, I wouldn't be surprised if Kotska makes a move past Neal, gets up there and challenges Medina, because we didn't see long run speed out of any other car, because, well, they didn't get any long runs in their heat races.
No, not really. Not really at all, buddy. You're exactly right. And Brockton, I bring you back here to the fold again, man. You know, you gotta. They always talk about when you drive these late model cars, and you know, I've announced a lot of late model races as well, and I've had the privilege, besides this year, because of other obligations, to be a part of the Valley Star 300 for NASCAR for the late model race. These are heavy race cars. These late model cars are even more heavier late model bodies than what you see on the NASCAR Cup Series car. And they're got there as we work lap number 60 this time by at start finish. You got to figure out how to handle these cars, because they're just a completely different animal. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, Wesley, as I mentioned pre-race, these things are 3,100 pounds, Wesley. They're heavy, they're boxy, they lean left and right because of the suspension under them. They've got a cast iron V8 underneath them that's producing a 370 horsepower, so you get on that gas a little too much and you're going to be in a world of hurt. And even if you save the car, those rear tires, as we're getting into a longer green flag run, those are going to heat up and get it even more slick and harder to drive, Wesley.
Yeah, all of this happening now as the leaders work their way back to turn number 2 to the back stretch. This is actually more mid-pack as we see the 64 car. This is 64, 295. This is kind of between Courtney Ludwig. And actually they're saying that's the 22 of Rob Courtney battling for position. I think the numbers are different, actually. That's another Vengeance driver, but the number is not 22 on time and his scoring. So got lost there for a second. That's Courtney and Ludwig going at it, and it's probably best battle, Terry, on the racetrack. Is for the first time, I could say at least for 15 laps or more, we've kind of settled things down here a little bit, and that's, I think, a good idea for sure.
Yeah, I think once we kind of got, you called it a little earlier, a little survival of the fittest, a little selection that had happened, and the racers that necessarily didn't have a grasp or a grip of the track, they're not on the racetrack no more. So now you have the guys who've come out here, they understand, they know what they're going to have to do. You probably realized at some point in time that, hey, I only have one fast repair. I have one quick reset, and if I do enough damage, can't make it back to the pits, well, then my race is over anyhow, because you'll be multiple laps down here at Martinsville. So there's only 23 of them, or 24 on lead lap, and we're about to put Stacey Hunter a lap down.
And honestly, Terry, you've got to think, if you are one of those cars that are badly damaged and you got to take that fast repair, you want to try to do it under caution, because if you try to do it under a green flag run, like you said, your night's done, because just coming down pit road under green flag conditions, it's inevitable. You're going to go multiple laps down, and unless you can pray you're the guy that gets right there back to the spot on the tail end of the lead lap or the tail end of the lap, a lap down to get the lucky dog or the wave around, the free pass, mind you. That's not going to happen. It's not the case.
Yeah, and I mean, with the pace that you're seeing the 4 car put down, Medina's catching him, but the pace that they're putting down altogether, it's caught the field. I mean, it's like a conveyor belt around here constantly. But lap time wise, it's a 10th of a second faster for that 27 of Medina. He's right there, and yeah, you see it right here in front of the 4. He's caught up in a ton of lap traffic, and there's a ton of checkup for the leader here.
Yeah, a lot of checkup here going on as David Gargaro Jr. down to the inside. Moving on lap cars. This is Dolson for 23rd. Putting him a lap down. He's going to try to power back and battle. He's also got to be quickly to throw the block on his teammate for Medina, or Medina's got to quickly have the cover to protect his friend and keep O'Neill, Kotsko, Richardson at bay, which they successfully do. And they work their way to the back straightaway. Here's the thing, Brock, that I'd bring you back in, but as our analyst, if you can get a good green flag run going like we're seeing right now, you can tick laps off quickly here at Martinsville Speedway. The average lap count is under 20 seconds, or at least in the 20-second mark, 21 seconds. You can knock off close to 3-4 laps a minute if you're lucky to do it in these cars.
Yeah, right now our leader, even mired back in lap traffic, is running about a 20-second lap time, so he can click off about 3 laps every minute, as you were saying. So the faster these guys are going and the more clean air they can go, the more laps they can get. And it's just a matter of time until eventually we look down and it'll be 100 laps left. So we're almost there, Wesley, at 75 laps now.
Yeah, about to close in on lap 75. Thank you, Brockton, for that update there. He's Brockton McReynolds for us, Brockton Packard in real life. And Terry Radford of the house, Wesley Allen here with you. Round 12 of the Major Series. Kentuck Long under attack. Here comes Lotridge Terry, along with teammate Go Million, right there outside the top 10 and 11th. They're trying to run them down into 1.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job putting together a really good pace. They ran a 21.1, which is only, 0.8 of a second slower than what their fastest lap time of the race was. But now that they're starting to get the green flag laps under them, the tires are starting to get a little stickier. The track's starting to rubber in. The sun's starting to go down. So the track temp's working its way lower and lower. So expect this track to honestly start picking up more rubber. As you see the marbles up there a little bit more against the wall, you're going to see drivers getting a little bit more loose, starting to have just a tad bit more patience or lack thereof, as you see lap traffic coming up faster as the 3's going to try to work his way down in there and maybe sit it in on that 295.
Gonna try to. And you got to wonder also, when the leader is Gargaro, when does your teammate Medina get patient? Say, I want to lead some of this race. I want to get up in front here now. Not yet.
I would expect, Wesley, if those two are in a chat talking to one another, there's going to come a time that they're going to either A, flip spots, or B, I think he's just going to run it flat down, because while the times have started to match, looking at timing and scoring, the lap times have evened out. It was a 20.77. It's a 20.75 for Medina as the caution flags out.
Yeah, there you go. On lap number 79, 40 car involved, Harkins car. Chevrolet Monte Carlo in a cloud of smoke as he fires back off. He is going to be cattywampus crab walking down the racetrack. And here is your replay of what happened with already a donut. And it's not Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme either. Boy, oh boy. And it just adds on to the calamity. Harkins' car lost it. Well, he had some cars get into him, though. 73 was there. And that's the 73. That's the driver of Gerard Gilbert again. He had a caution earlier. Well, lap 80 and pit road is open. What do you think of Terry Pit Road?
Stayed out.
Yeah, man. I just realized that, but I mean, is this a good strategy for these guys to come to the pit lane on lap 80?
I mean, Yeah, I think O'Neal just shot himself in the foot at the 13, the 950, the 93, the 58. I think that was a bad move on their part. I would have came down. While I think, you know, track position's it's at a premium, but if you're the 27 or the 047, you got to be licking your chops, going, man, this is prime real estate.
Some of the leaders coming down to the pit lane, some didn't, and that's one of them. And taking a gamble. Brockton taking a gamble. O'Neal, do you think this was a good strategy or bad to make now officially the first lead change of the race under the yellow flag?
You know, it's tough. We've seen these cars lose about 4 to 5 tenths a lap on these older tires, so it's a bit of a gamble, but we also don't know the difference that clean air can make. So you're still semi-early in the race, even though it's 83 laps in. We still got a while to go. So I think take a chance. You know you're going to probably have another caution here eventually, so why not?
That's a good point. Right now, he feels like maybe there's going to be a lot more cautions. And I got a feeling, Terry, we are as well. It's not done yet.
I don't understand staying out. But then again, passing has not been very easy. You've really had to send it in on somebody here. And I watched somebody comment in the chat that even flat out said, you know, it's impossible to pass here. It's very hard to get the drive off the exit of the corner when the driver's to your outside. So maybe he's hoping that, you know, the 4, the 27, those drivers back there get kind of caught up in the top 3 not pitting. Maybe a little wheel spin, a little damage is going to affect the aero of the car. But
sure.
You at least needed 10 or 15 to stay out with you. You didn't need, you know, 2 behind you and then, hey, there's 4 fresh tires.
Lights are off for the pace car. And we settle in for the restart here at Martinsville in the Virginia E300 for the Major Series. It'll be lap 85. Back to the Geico restart zone. Look at another great restart by the man out in front in the 11 on his first opportunity. Austin O'Neal powers away from everybody. Not only that, Terry Radford, he is trying to set sail from everybody as they go to turn 3. Battle for second, third, and fourth going on here.
He's going to have to hope that the 4 machine gets stuck behind this lap traffic, in which he has. The 950, you know, has not moved, has not faltered from that bottom. Unfortunate for the 13. He's, you know, up in no man's land up against the wall, so he's kind of stuck where he's at. But, man, for the 950, he's holding his own against these 4 fresh tires and arguably the fastest driver on the track.
Yeah, Shank right there in that number 2 spot. First time to kind of give him some love because he's kind of been mentioned in bad times tonight whenever we mentioned that car. Having incidents down to the inside, though. Here comes David Gartura. Oh, my. The announcer, Jinx Wesley. Why don't you just shut up? Mad Sim Racing 950. And Shank going out. Yeah, I'm wondering, Terry, if it looked like the rear end of the car just snapped out.
Yeah, he went too much brake bias there, loaded the rear up, and when he went down in the corner, as soon as he just probably barely tapped the brakes, and it just locked him completely, and that's going to send you around every time. That stinks because he was doing really good right there. I think he just kind of underestimated what the 4 was going to do. He thought that the 4 was going to sit it in there, and then bam, around it goes.
AlienAwards.net 950. Mr. Shank putting us under the yellow flag. Well, we are slowly approaching halfway. The Virginia E300. Let's step away, and we will be right back with you as we are under caution on lap number 90. This time by iRacing on LSRTV and the Community Radio Network. We are back in just a quick moment. Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outlet up topside at one of the great racetracks of the world, the Caraway Speedway. And I'd like to remind you to join us every Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern to 3 p.m. Eastern with coverage of Finish Line, where we talk to everybody from NASCAR to grassroots, like right here at Caraway Speedway. Carolina's Fox Sports Radio affiliates, iHeartRadio, and on the Community Radio Network at 87.5 FM. And remember, thanks to Live Sim Racing Productions, you can actually see the guest panel, ask their questions, get interactive with us with comments and so much more in our chat box. Finish Line every Wednesday. Join us every week.
Your CRN, my CRN, our CRN. We are CRN. The Community Radio Network now and the new WCRN 87.9 FM. And still always anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN.
This is our series,
So many different pieces that you have to watch out for.
where the stakes are always higher,
$300,000.
where virtual meets reality,
How bad do you want it?
They're wasting no time getting at it.
where the best thrive and the flawless win. This is the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
Ready to take the green flag as we're back from break. Lap number 93 will be completed when they come back to the Geico restart zone just before halfway. I'm Wesley Outlet, Terry Radford. Our driver race analyst is Brockton Packard. Terry, of course, as the field works the back straightaway. Great production work by, of course, Jeff Stabnow and Charles Wood, Rocket Media, Live Sim Racing on the coverage, as well as simulcast on the Community Radio Network. Well, O'Neal, since he jumped out in lead on a strategy with the other ones pitted, Terry, he has now been able to hold off Team Vengeance at bay. But they're right there trying to run him down like Top Gun Maverick.
Caution.
Caution. Caution is out again. Yellow flag waves, lap number 94 of the race. I want to say it's unofficially the number 30 possibly. And the 73 of Gerard Gilbert again, possibly. I don't know. We'll find out here. Nobody's on pay. Could they call a restart back, Brockton, down to you in our analyst booth?
No, it actually was our old buddy in the 950. Roger
Shank again.
Shank. Yeah, he got drilled. And then here's another aspect of do you lift, do you not? It was Shank and the... I think it was the 462.
Well, we'll find out. Terry, here he is amongst all that traffic. If anybody's going to find it, it's going to be Charles Wooten and the broadcast crew of Rocket Media in the production truck. And look at this. Wow, the 14 made a move on the inside, cleared him, cleared Shank. 462 now to the bottom. Oh man. You know, that was not really intentional. He ran him up the racetrack again. And that's the 462 of Shank in the car 090 but or 950. And I mean, I don't think per se, Terry, that was intentional. That was a little bump. Wrong part of the racetrack going into the corner. And by the time you diamond off into 1 and 2, you take each other out. And by the way, you take yourself out with him.
I've never lived into that situation. Never, ever, ever. Front bumper meets back bumper very easily here. And you're right. You know, he got washed up out of the groove there by the 14. And then, incidents happen. You make contact and your race is still going, luckily. You know,
That's
you only
right.
backed it in, but still never lifting there.
It looks like we are going to be getting the halfway under caution flag, so this will give us a chance to give you a mid-race report. Brockton, down to you. Give us the analysis, where we are in the race summary, and your take of the race so far with 100 laps to go in the Virginia E300 for the Major Series.
Yeah, as we come around for the final time in this half of the race, lots of cautions, meaning not a lot of tire wear. That 11 is sitting on almost 100 lap old tires, and he has actually been able to run quite well. He is also the only other leader. You see those caution laps are ticking up, and not a lot of lead changes in the front, but lots of shuffling going on in the back as we are 1 to green, Wesley.
8 cautions, 40 laps under yellow, 1 lead change, again done by the leader O'Neill when Gargaro made a pit stop. But that's the emphasis of what I just said, Terry. 8 cautions for 40 laps. That means only 60 laps have been at full speed under green flag. And we are going to be officially at halfway on lap 100 when we come back to the Geico restart zone and the second half. Now the run for the money in the Virginia E300 is ready to go here at Martinsville. Field comes to the line. Green flag back in the air. Quick move into turn number 1. O'Neill gone on the restart.
Yeah, I was wondering what Medina was going to do there as he let his teammate get in and kind of let off the throttle and didn't force the issues. There's about to be contact back there in the back. They started to send it in there, and luckily nobody went around. One car actually did go around. That was, yeah, right there. It started from 7.
And Ken Tung Lung involved. Oh, man. Yeah, caution out for a man that had a pretty good solid run. Ken Tung Lung in the 295. Let's see what happened. Caution out now for the 9th time and on lap 100. Ken Tung Lung, 93, dives it in there. Got him a driver donut. Made a move to the inside of his left rear, got him turned to the bottom of the racetrack, and well, everybody was, in my opinion, could have been safe to drive up top and miss him, but maybe they felt like, you know, this could have turned bad very fast, Terry, and that's why they threw the yellow.
Yeah, caution comes out, and this is actually helping Austin O'Neill because
it is.
Well, he hasn't pitted yet.
You're exactly right. I knew the conversations that some people mentioned. I think Brockton, did you say they could go on a tank of fuel, even with the 2 attempts at it overtime? You think you could still average out and still have an opportunity to go 200 laps?
With this open setup, the baseline setup only gives you 7 gallons, but you could easily fit 22 gallons of fuel in these tanks, and that is plenty. So with a little bit of tweaking to the setup, a lot of these guys could possibly go all the way. It depends upon if they sacrifice the weight on the early end to the later end. So I'm not 100% sure how much gas some of these guys have put in there, but from what I've seen tweaking on the setup, you can make it easily.
Well, that's a good analysis. Thank you for that, for sure. Well, it's been O'Neill for the 1 lead change of the race, and the caution breeds caution, if you will. Kind of night at Martinsville. This gives us a chance, by the way, to acknowledge Stack Up. The charity partner for this event for the Virginia is for M300. The Virginia is for Majors 300. That's the race, but it's the Virginia E300, and thanks to veterans, our passion. Gaming is our passion as well. Veterans are our mission, and thanks to our military and our troops. And I don't want to elaborate into all the things that are going on in our world today, Terry Radford, but what I will say is I think some of the news that we've been hearing about are our men and women who are veterans that have fought for our country. and being denied maybe the things that they need to try to get by in life, just like me and you are, I think is a travesty, and it is, in my opinion, a betrayal for many leaders of our country not to help our military. And this Stack Up program is doing what they can to help out the veterans, and we certainly thank them. If you are a veteran and you are watching or listening, we love you and we thank you for your service. We're back to green, and Stack Up, a proud part of this. I'm digging these camera angles. Hey, Terry, let's rest our voices. Let's let them hear the thunder at Martinsville as we're just after halfway. What do you think, Terry? Music, sweet, sweet music. Even virtually, it sounds awesome at Martinsville.
Yeah, you put any car out here at Martinsville, doesn't matter if it's the modifieds, you put the supers, you put a truck, a cup, or an Xfinity car out here, it sounds amazing. The camera angles are on point. What's entertaining to me here is watching O'Neal. I did not think that he could do what he's been able to do here, but ever since he's taken this race lead, he has started to check out, and he's running 20.40s. That's the fastest driver on the track right now. He's matched with David Gargaro. I think I pronounced that right. And he's matching lap times. That time Medina was faster, but not by a whole lot.
Yeah, certainly is right now with O'Neal. About 3 car lengths the difference between O'Neal and Gargaro. Another half a car length back to Medina. Another car length behind Medina to Kotska. And about 5 car lengths from Kotska to Richardson. There's your top 5. Courtney, Yedio, Cardamon, Roberts, Lottridge, and Go Million right now on the outside looking in. There's your top 10. And I'll be honest with you, Brockton, our analyst, will bring you back in here. I would say in some shape or form, with the exception of maybe 5 cars, every car on this racetrack has had some type of dent, bump, bang, scratch, tear on this race car since we dropped the green flag, and now we're closing in on 85 to go.
Yeah, Wesley, a lot of these guys have already taken that very, very valuable fast repair, and they're just trying to survive at this point. But that top 5, those 5 cars have not. They have been able to keep their cars clean all night long, and that's what's gotten them into that position, along with some very risky strategy calls that have eventually worked out for the number 1 of Austin O'Neal. Getting down in first place.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. I thought you were finished. Terry, I was going to say also another good green flag run here. They're settling in for the home stretch, I think. I know we only got 83 laps to go still, but I think right now this is where you got to be patient, and to first win the race, you must first finish, and that definitely is a true cliche, not only from the green flag, but definitely as we approach the final 50 laps coming up.
Yeah, and I was kind of reading the chat there for a little bit. Brockton was having a conversation with Rhonda A, and I'm kind of in the same place. I thought, and I agreed with Rhonda A, that I kind of thought that the tires would get a little looser, that you would feel just a little different. But Austin O'Neal's proven me wrong, and we had a long green flag run. I expect it will potentially go green to the end here. I don't see people getting too aggressive unless the 723 kind of has the connection issues there and causes an incident. But this could potentially be the race the part of the race where we just go 80 laps to the end, we run it out, and we see who has the best car on the long run.
Yeah, it's something we'll keep an eye on for sure. Watch it and see where things go, no doubt. As I'm looking at some of the conversation in the chat right now, as you mentioned, and yeah. O'Neill, Gargaro, Medina, Kotska, Richardson, as it stands here currently at Martinsville. The E300. Solid run. Solid run. Another good lengthy green flag part of this race. And in a nice way of saying things, a decent run. And I think
the lead starts to
kind
of close in a 10 minutes. It's 0.4 of a second. You know, you got a little bit of a gap there for O'Neill, but there isn't a whole lot of racing going on back here between these drivers. You see a block going back here a little further on, the 723. That's Roberts. He's trying.
Roberts after Cardamon. And they bump with each other. They bump again. Oh, here we go. Somehow they save it as they drive off into the corner, and now everybody's playing bonsai. Lutridge spins to the bottom of the racetrack in the 3. Do they trigger a caution? I don't think they have. We stay green. Wow.
I mean, that's tippers flaring right there. One started to block.
Holy cow.
I mean, you saw that where the 314 tried to block, and then the 723 has disconnected. Roberts is gone.
He might have just got PO'd if you wonder, you know, seriously. Wow. He might by the way, I don't know where he lives at right now, but producer Charles and Terry, I'm letting you guys know right now, there is severe weather in my area. We are under a severe thunderstorm warning where I live at right now in North Carolina. It is storming outside as we speak. Hopefully we go to the end with 70 to go here at Martinsville. I love a rainy night, Terry.
Good song. Good song. We are on the radio. My mom's always told me that I got a face for radio.
There we go. So we're understanding that possibly with that move, Roberts has been disqualified. Our analyst, Brockton Packard, you got an update for us on lap 130 on the 723.
Yeah, the 723 has the black and white crossed flags and is parked for the parked for the duration of the event. Too many incident points and a little bit of rough driving. That's what it'll get you, Wesley.
There you go. Well, with under 70 laps to go. With under 70 laps to go. One car getting the meatball flag, the cross flags, by the way, and he is done for. Battle for the lead. Not yet. This is a battle for second. Gargaro and Medina having a nice little battle amongst themselves. A couple of Chevrolets, and he says, peace, I'm out. O'Neill, still the leader. We're at the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of network radio identification, the major series on the Community Radio Network.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Back here at the Martinsville Speedway, lap number 135 of 200, heating up under 75 laps to go, and this is now where it is about to get good. Brockton, I got to bring you in here real quickly. As Gargaro Medina continue to battle for the bridesmaid spot, they can't run down P1 driver of O'Neill. Did they decide to change the start of the race? Because I was thinking that we would be racing in the dark by now, and we got a car hinged up against the wall on the safer wall barrier down the back straightaway. And this has triggered another caution flag with a 69 car. It's in trouble again. That's Gelder, Matt Gelder's car, the evil box entry. Wedged up against the wall. We'll show you we will show you a replay here. Look at this, Terry, just smoking, and then he just, what does he do? Oh.
Parks
wow.
for the caution.
Yeah, look at him wedged up on the wall. That's what I saw when I saw him. I was like, what is he doing? Is it Joey Chitwood? What do you think he's on? I was going to say jackass, so I don't know if I could say that word. It's the name of a TV show, so I guess I can't get in trouble, right? I mean, come on.
Down, down, down.
Well, listen, never mind. I'm not going to say anything about the two words. I'm not opening that door. Terry, check with you in a minute, buddy. Brockton, back to my question. I thought we were going to run on at night. What's the sim time right now, buddy? And could we possibly see this race finish under the lights?
Well, with the way we're going, it's very possible, but sim time is currently 18:22, and for our civilian folk, that is 6:22 p.m. And a quick update on the 69, he downshifted into turn 1 and blew up the engine, and that was the end of his night.
I find that interesting, Terry, that this race did not start at, like, per se 6 o'clock with the heat races and then transition into, like, maybe a 7:30 or an 8 o'clock start sim time for the real race, like it always is anyway. Like last night, it started right before nightfall and it ended under the lights right before 10:30, 11 o'clock.
I mean, racing in the day. If we continue on the path of cautions that we're on, we probably are going to see the sun go down. we're gonna see nothing but we got 60 to go, so we need about 12 more cautions.
Yeah. And mind you, I'm not in any way trying to B and C here. I'm just simply just saying I thought it was going to be a night race, you know.
On the other hand, am trying to entice this field. 12 more cautions, or we're going home.
What'd you say? Less cautions, or we're going home?
Yeah, we need 12 cautions, or we're out. I'll put the headset down for a second. 12 cautions. Let's see some lights come on at Martinsville.
There you go. Somebody hit the switch. Exactly. Somebody turn on the light. Who is it? Yeah. Remember that movie? Remember Ghostbusters? You're the gatekeeper. I am the key master. Gerard Gilbert, I think, just got a free pass. He's glad somebody didn't knock his lights out.
We got 17, so might as well make it a show.
That's right. Brockton, what you take of the race so far, buddy? We'll check in for you for another race analysis update as we are closing in on what would be 50 laps to go.
Well, Wesley, it's been a lot of beating and banging, and we're about to go green in the next lap. So I'm expecting to see even more beating and banging, but I am very surprised on how those tires have held up. I think that he's in that number 11/1. He's listed as the number 1 on my timing and scoring. He's been able to keep those tires cool under caution and not heat them up too much under green flag conditions. Right. So if he can keep running this out, he can very much win this race, Wesley.
Yeah, no doubt about it. These drivers have been beating and banging and bumping and grinding. And who will survive when this is over? The 11 and the 4 ready to come to the restart. Team Vengeance is there as O'Neill ready to fire on the inside. Back to the Geico restart zone. Gargaro, though, trying to make something work on the... Oh, wow. Can you say psych? Whole shot back to the 11. He got Gargaro good there, Terry, back to 1 and 2.
Well, he did exactly what Gargaro has been doing this whole race when he had the lead. Kind of played a little mind games, like a little okie doke. He would go in the restart zone and then not. So that allowed him to play the same mind games, and O'Neill pulled out to another half a second lead. He's starting to move.
Andrew Kotska gave a little punt in the pants to Medina. Richardson behind him, a couple of Mad Sim Racing teammates. By the way, Terry, another thing that we mentioned, and I don't think we really emphasized on it much tonight, as we have in the past. As we have in the past, we got a caution in 3 and 4, a big wreck. My goodness, we got Hunter involved. We've got the 3 at Lockridge involved. The 17 caught up in it as well of Chris Yedio. He had a pretty good car earlier, and with 56 laps to go in the 2022 run into the Major Series, American Sportsman Virginia is for M Lovers 300. Wow. By the way, the M stands for Majors. The Virginia is for M Lovers 300. Look at this. Oh, my. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, 4 or 5 cars in parking lot there, and Yedio going northbound on the southbound lane. Hey, buddy, we're coming at you. Let's go on board. Look at this 17. Let the view. Watch this. Forge PC Racer 1. You're on board with him, Terry. What's the mindset, man, when you get hit and slammed and all of a sudden you're pointing in the wrong direction? You got traffic coming at you.
I can't say it live on the air. I'll say it after the show of what's going through my mind and comes out of my mouth when this happens. It's not pretty. And this is why I don't stream anymore. I used to stream, and then I realized that my mouth gets me in trouble, especially when I get wrecked at a short track.
First you say it, then you do it, right, Brockton?
Oh, yeah. I've had my fair share of, we'll call them choice words to people if they get into me.
all I'll say is,
I like that.
You get in a corner like that, I mean, we're coming down to about 50 to go. There's no more give and take. You're not going to allow a driver to cut down in front of you. You're not going to allow a driver to get away with some of the stuff they got away with early on in this race. I mean, obviously, lap 10, lap 15, you'll cut somebody some slack, but you're not cutting anymore. I mean, we're going to get closer and closer to the end. I mean, I'm not going to cut it regardless, but some of these drivers have more patience and temperament than I do. Like I don't care if it's lap 1, lap 99. You're going to get the same. You're going to get the same way. If you want to race me like a butt, I'm going to race you like one back. And if you come out there and you race me with respect, I'm content with it. You know, if you come over the radio and say, "Hey Terry, that's my fault. That's my bad." You know what? That next time, I'm going to respect you more because you owned up to it. But if you don't say nothing, you're silent. Oh, I'm going to light that. I'm going to light your rear end up. And regardless of what it is, if you put me on a real racetrack and you race me like a clown, I'm going to race you just like a clown too. And my wife could probably tell you that I'll race the same way on the highway. And my mom's in the chat. She'll tell you I'm on the phone with her quite often when I'm driving. I will cut somebody off intentionally if they race me, if they hit me like that or they cut out in front of me. I don't care.
You have a lot of anger in your life. I've come to find that out here tonight at Martinsville. Sorry. God help you if you get in a paperclip.
They don't want me racing. If I race out there, it's not, I don't know if it's anger, but I am a very impatient person. I want to get where I'm going, and I want to get where I'm going fast. I don't want nobody just holding me up.
Cue up your theme song by Queen. I want it all, and I want it now. Ready to go, back to green. 50 laps to go, 3/4 of the way in the Virginia E300 to the home stretch in the final 50 laps around the paperclip, the short track at Martinsville. Oh, they're wrecking behind them. I hear banging.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah, they're wrecking. Caution's out. That was a wreck for about
if you just
they're wrecking more. Oh, my gosh, the 333's hard in the wall.
Carlos Santana.
What did he do to you?
Not Carlos Santana, the other Santana. I'm sorry. Oh, my, not Carlos Santana. Who was that? That was the other Santana. Oh, oh my, guys, come on. Yeah.
For the people listening on CRN, that was
Mark Santana. That was a lot of cars. Holy cow. Gilbert,
40. Oh my gosh. And a lot of these guys are close to their incident limit. by the way.
Yeah, watch the 33. Look what happened. Well, okay, they're behind the pace car. On board with the 040 coming up here. Extended caution. Then we'll show you what happened to Santana. That's Don Dawson, by the way, in the 040. Stop, go.
We're on our track.
To him here. This is from the restart. This is the restart. This all happened on the green flag. Watch this. What happened? Oh no!
Oh no! The 73.
Hey man, that's kind of messed up. And there goes Santana. Yeah, Maria.
He got drove through there for no reason. Caution had been out for a half a straightaway.
I don't understand that. That would be what we call in fast track a secondary yellow, and he get his spot back. But I think he just got tore up from the floor up. 50.
I mean, this is
under 50 laps to go here.
This is what I talk about. You know, I get it. This is iRacing. This is whatever, and I don't take much stock, right? When I go out here and I actually race on it. I normally race the trucks. That's where I race. But I've raced a couple of the short tracks with the late models that I went out there and ran some of the official races on iRacing through the week.
Sure,
and
sure.
They're guys that come out here and race that probably have a shorter temper than I do when it comes to racing. I mean, it's hard to believe that there's people with shorter tempers than I've got. And that right there just showed me something that I don't like seeing at races. I don't like seeing racing, period. Why a driver, and we saw the replay where you see the 73 come in and he just, it looked intentional to cut the nose off of another driver, and then we drive back around and we get a half a straightaway under caution, and then you're turning in another one. I mean, I get it. Some people like this Bowman Gray style. They like the brawling and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
But that's, you don't do that in a league race. You don't do it at one of the top series on iRacing, especially the major series. This isn't the place to do it. Do it.
Hey, Terry, one of the great segments I've ever had on my Fox Sports radio show, Finish Line, was Bowman Gray Stadium, racing or embarrassing. Bottom line.
I mean, and there's races that are out there as the green flag comes back out, but there's races out there in this planet that are meant for, beating and banging. Martinsville's one of them, Bowman Gray. But there's a line, and that right there crossed the line, even on iRacing.
Well, we're closing in here on what will be 43 laps to go. As O'Neill is the leader, Carcaro Medina. Brockton, I got to check in with you. Does O'Neill need to pit? Is he going to have to pit, do you think?
At this point, I'm not 100% sure. He's been running great lap times and been making sure he's stayed up front. So if I was him and I knew I was good on fuel, I'd just keep it out there. Nobody's really got to him.
That's taking a gamble, though, ain't it? I mean, seriously. Terry, that's really taking a gamble. I mean,
let's be real for a second. Did O'Neill have the car to pass Medina and Gargano? No, he couldn't get underneath them. To me, he doesn't seem like the type of racer that's going to move them out of the way. And he had opportunities to move Medina up the racetrack, but didn't. He allowed him to go. This is a perfect gamble. He proved me wrong.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm just, and it's been those three cars. And mind you, this has been, let's say it's been a bad race. It's just been a very caution-filled attrition event. You settle down. I think we got less than, 16 cars on the lead lap, with 40 laps to go, under 40 laps to go. You've got, 16 cars on the lead lap. You've got, 18 cars, I think, that are left on the racetrack of the 30 starters. So, no doubt about it. Every driver, some shape or form, with maybe the top four, have had some type of attrition or damage or a bump or a donut or some type of effects out of this race so far. And I'll tell you what, Terry, not done. Here comes Gargaro. He doesn't have his teammate Medina with him, but he's going on his own with his own power back to 1.
Yeah, I don't want to take the focus off of the top 2 leaders. Let's leave the camera right where it's at. I want to give a shout out back there to Matt Sizzler. That 93 had issues earlier on in this race, has rebounded back to a 6th place position. Our top 5 has stayed the same since the drop of the green flag. But minus the 3 cars that stayed out, the 2 that were not in the top 5 that O'Neal was in, the rest of them have been there. And this has been the consistent top 5. But Gargano, he's coming, and he's putting down some very quick lap times. He's going to get to that back bumper here soon.
He is. To the line. 35 laps to go. And I'm understanding that David Gargaro, Brockton, is being a little faster than the 11. O'Neal has got to be worried about that. He's coming in the 4.
Yeah, these guys have been battling back and forth with the fastest laps in the field. Last time by, it was a 20.48 for O'Neal. This time, it's a 20.49, and guess who ran the exact same time, Wesley?
It sounds like one lap it's O'Neal, next lap it's Gargaro. This is the race that doesn't end.
I mean, the fall-off's not there for O'Neal, and I'm kind of surprised. I mean, that time he was a 10th faster than the 4 machine, but the lap traffic is going to play into effect here. I mean, we got 33 laps to go coming to 32. At some point, that 11 is going to catch that lap traffic, and he could catch them at the wrong time. We could still see the 4 or the 27 of Medina win this race.
I got to wonder, and I'm thinking this honestly, spitballing here, Terry, as we come to the home stretch, 30 laps to go here, 31 to go this time by, is O'Neal's tires not as worn out as we speculated or thought because of just so many races tonight, the laps that have been under caution? More caution laps than green flag laps.
I think Brockton brought up a good point in the chat when he said that the heat and the tires is what really causes them to slip and slide more, and he's absolutely right. These are not the tires that you would see on a Cup or an Xfinity car. These are much different. They're a little harder compound.
These are what you call,
you're going to have a different
bias-ply tire.
That's right. So you're going to catch it. He got very close to the wall. There it is for the lead. Oh, he turned it.
Whoa, they turned each other. O'Neal around, battling for the lead. 30 to go at Martinsville. And you knew it was bound to happen. Gargaro had a shot after O'Neal hit the wall, made the move, and wow. Wow, caution out with under 30 remaining. You knew it was going to happen. And that was fair.
Feel it,
okay, I got to be honest with you, Terry. That was fair. He had an opportunity from a slip by the 11, and he tried to go for it.
I mean, he was there. We'll take a look at the replay here as we're going to show him come off the corner here in just a second. He is going to catch the wall. And you're right. This one was fair. He was in contention. Oh, my gosh. That's tough, though, because that drops O'Neal back to 7th.
How strong is the car? Can he come back to the front? That's the question. Watch this again one more time. Watch this again. Look at this. And hey, Terry, I got to wave a white flag here, man. What if the 11 O'Neal comes into the pits? What if he comes into the pits, takes on 4 new tires, and he fires back through the field? Will they have enough time?
No, I don't think tires mean that much. I mean, we saw what he did on that. I don't think it means any more than anything. I mean, Rob Courtney pitted on lap 146. It's 30 laps ago, and he has barely worked his way through the field. So I'm not too sure if O'Neal was strong enough. He couldn't get past the 2 in front of him from the start. You're going to see him catch the wall right here.
In the wall.
And then he made the move.
Yeah, and it's fair.
The 11 made the block.
Yeah, Brockton, what's your take on this, bud? I mean, that was a fair pass. They just kind of ran out of room with one another, right?
there's a mutual agreement over the radio at the moment that it was not on purpose. The number 4 making sure the number 1 knew that, and they said they would hash it out after the event. Both of them knew that they were racing hard for the lead. O'Neal actually discussed with the 4 that he was surprised his, I quote, 774 lap tires made it that long.
I mean, not as surprised as I was. I honestly didn't think that he was going to be able to hold that pace. But I hope if he's watching this race, I'm not doubting his ability. I think, you know, he's sitting 16th right now. Do I think he can make it in 25 laps up to the front? No. Do I think he can make it in the top 10? Yeah. You get a couple more cautions. He jumps a restart here, gets to the outside, maybe takes it 3 wide. You know, you have that opportunity to get the forward bite off the center, but this is a tall task for the 1.
Yeah, and we'll see. You know, but I will say another thing in regards to that other driver we mentioned, and a guy like the 11 of O'Neal. O'Neal's been one of the pick of the litter class of the field fast cars. These other guys that we mentioned have been hanging all the way in the back. So we'll see what happens. Keep an eye on that number 1 car. But look at this. Look at this. Top 4 teammates. Top 7 have teammates in the top 6 spot. Back to green flag here at Martinsville. Closing in on under 25 laps to go now. And the restart. And it's only going to go more crazy and furious with antics, chaos, and mayhem from here, Terry.
Yeah, and you talked about the teammates being up front. It is a teammate lockout of the top 2 teammates for vengeance, and then you got 3rd and 4th teammates as well. They're all on the same setup with a couple minor adjustments to what's going to make the cars handle best for them. Some people like a tighter car, some people like a looser car, but I'm not going to uncircle the fact that the 27 has been on track faster than the 4. So let's not shy away from that for a second. Is the 27 of Medina has been chomping at the bit to get an opportunity to go after the 4.
Into the corner. Coming up on our Majors, 20 to go. When they come back around next time by for the Major Series. American Sportsman here tonight at Martinsville. The Virginia is for M Lovers. 300. 20 laps to go. Brockton Packard, what do you think with 20 remaining? What's the outcome going to be as we come to the finish, buddy?
Well, if you're in the top 4, you think you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, even if you are leading. But that number 1 car is back into the top 10, only a couple seconds back, and making great time while passing drivers only about a 10th off the pace. So if he gets into the top 5, I would be watching out as he puts the bumper to a couple of the drivers in front of him. Wesley, this could be interesting.
He's fast. I mean, he's tearing that 314's bumper up. And if I'm the 314, I know you don't want to give a position up, Wesley, but I would move, because there it is. I'd move, son, because he's going to move you.
Wow.
And he moved him.
Wow.
Wesley, in a lap before this, the 314 chirps to the 1, why you gotta keep hitting my bumper? And a lap later, he's sitting backwards at the Geico restart zone.
Yeah.
And the response, radio silence.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I told you so. We were watching it. I would move. I mean, there was no sense. He's got fresher tires. He's been faster than you. I know you don't want to give up the spot, but think of what could have been. You fall to 10. Okay. You follow in behind the 11, and you go, okay, you pick him off. I'll sit behind you. You both walk up through the field, but instead, you block. You hold the bottom. You hold him up. He's already, obviously, if a guy's putting a bumper to you, he's faster. I go back to respect. If you're hitting me in the back bumper at a short track, I'm moving out of your way because I know you're faster. I'm not going to hold you up. if you come up and you only do it for a lap and you overdriving it and hit me in the back bumper, I'm not moving. I'm gonna slam the brakes on you, and I'm gonna park the bus in the center, and then I'm gonna gun it, and I'm gonna make your day miserable, and I'm gonna do it all race long. And unfortunately for the 314, he learned a valuable lesson there.
I am absolutely in awe here of what just happened. I mean, I knew this was going to transpire, but wow. Hell, will we see the same thing with the front cars now? The leaders are going to turn on each other. That's the question, right? When are the leaders going to become enemies?
Teammates will. I'm not sure the teammates will. I think the top four is virtually a lock regardless of what we do.
And fifth and sixth are teammates too. The guy in fifth is like all by himself. What is it? What's his name? Matt Sisler, McInerney, and Go Million are teammates. I mean, they're right there with one another again.
Yeah, I mean, for Sizzler, this has been a remarkable comeback. This has been a comeback for the 93 machine. If we could spotlight him out there, we showed him having a major issue in the 93 machine, fell to the back. Pretty sure he went a lap down at one point in time in this race, and here he finds himself in the top 5 in a race that honestly has been. What a way to introduce me to the major series, by the way. Let's put me on a short track with a bunch of tippers and beating and banging.
Right.
But that's impressive. It's an impressive drive because he's driven through this field. Man, oh man. Is this caution 4 out of 12? We're close
How
to
many
the sun
cautions
going
that
now,
we
Wesley.
had? What is our race analysis now, Mr. Charles?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We're
we can get
at
to 20?
sunset, so we might we might even get the lights on.
Yes. And there is 2 attempts to the green white checker, might I add.
Oh, they're driving good.
Well, right back to green. Let's try this again with 12 to go. And I think it's going to get hot and heavy here. Chaos and mayhem at the Ville. The paper clip. Buddy, I think you're trying to veer in the pit lane and you can't go that direction. Here we go into the corner. Wow. 11 to go, Terry.
And O'Neal just made a move that I didn't think he was going to be able to pull off, but he jumps up to 6th. He picked up 3 positions in less than a lap. And he made it almost 3 wide, and I think he scared the competition after he turned the 314 there and was like, "You're gonna move, or I'm gonna move you." Oh, there's a car around.
Oh, wrecked in 3 or 4.
That triggered the caution.
Car up against the wall.
Kentuck Luck. He'll have some low main later. Caution out, and we are back under yellow again. Kung Pao chicken to boot.
I think he just locked him up there.
Wow.
Looked like he might have just sent it in there a little too deep into the corner. Oh, he makes a little contact, gets washed up the racetrack, and then he goes to get back on the gas. And those marbles up there, iRacing did a phenomenal job. Actually dictating what this track does. When the marbles collect on the high side, you get a lot of tire spin when you go to get the torque off the exit, and that just sent him around, just no grip up there for him. And Barney, the flag man, that poor man's arm is just hurt. O'Neal's made a bunch of moves. He's up 10 spots, by the way.
That's right.
Couple more cautions, boys. He's he's there if he could pick him up on this restart.
Terry, he might have made a couple moves here and there, but he's also made a lot of enemies in the field. Lots of conversation this caution about that move through 3 and 4 you were talking about.
Listen,
some words exchanged like, Austin, it's not that serious.
I'm gonna be real with you. I love it when people get on the radio and try to say that a move, whatever, he's faster than you. People are gonna go watch this race and say I'm harsh. Sure, maybe I'm a little harsh with what I say, but I'm gonna be real with you. There's a lot of these drivers that haven't seen the top 5. They've been on the cusp of going a lap down here this afternoon. He's got a setup under him. I mean, he's just as fast, if not faster, than the 4 and the 27. And you got to make moves like that. He's in contention to win. He's in a contention to win a championship. He's going for it. And kudos to him. From 16th to 6th in
That's right.
5 green flag laps, Wesley? That's it.
I don't know. Are we going to try to be able to go to the scheduled distance, Brockton? Can we get started back in time, or are we going to go to a first attempt at double overtime?
Yeah, we're at 195. The pace lights are still on, so we'll see when we come across the line if we get the 1 to green or not. If we do, we'll get back going right in time, which we should be going to green either this lap or the next one, and that'll be our full field. Lights are off, so we're going to be going in the scheduled distance. Hopefully,
That's right.
we'll be able to get there.
We're going to go to overtime. I hope everybody's ready for overtime racing at Martinsville.
Exactly right.
The question I have is who is I think the third row is going to be the one to send the teammate into the other team.
Yep.
Well, Austin's starting outside row, 3rd row, so I'd watch that.
Back to green. 5 to go.
Oh, there it goes!
Here we go up the racetrack, and here goes cars bobbing all over the track. You knew it was going to happen. There's still green, though. 4 to go. Somehow.
I thought we were going to have a caution there, but we didn't. The 3 was not playing nice with the car around him, tried to bring the caution out. O'Neal goes up to 4. The 2 teammates, and then Kotska, he sits in 3rd somehow after making contact with another driver. This is pandemonium.
It's not over yet. Turn number 4, back to the line. Gargaro, Medina, Kotska, O'Neal, back up to 4th. Sisler, top 5. Single file. 2 to go now. This might go to the finish. And Gargaro and Medina, teammates, are still 1 and 2 amongst all this chaos. White flag of the air. CRN 1 to go. Final lap at Martinsville. Terry in turn 1.
Well, I didn't think it was going to happen, but paint my bottom red. We're going to the finish under the right flag. And for Gargaro, he did what he had to do. He comes off a 4. That 4 machine gets the win.
There he comes.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. And he's going to win for Team Vengeance. P1, P2, Gargaro, Medina, Team Vengeance. And David Gargaro Jr. wins the E300. The Virginia is for M Lovers E300 at Martinsville.
What a race. I need to come do more of these. We need some more short track racing.
Yes, yes, yes. That's exactly right.
There ain't a car on the field other than maybe the 4 that doesn't have damage. Everybody else is beat up.
Yes, yes, yes.
And guys, we had a car finish upside down.
What a wow.
Hey, we added a 3 flippers.
Yep, the 064 got pushed halfway back down the back straightaway on his roof by the 17 on the last lap.
That's right, right. Yep, that's right.
It's a good race.
Yes, sir. What in the world have we just witnessed? It was what an exciting show. As Gargaro and Medina, teammates for Team Vengeance, get it done again. They win the race. Half a second by the interval. Kotska O'Neill. What a comeback, though, guys. Remember, he had to come back and pit. Finishes in 4th. Sisler, top 5. McInerney, Courtney, Go Million. Ladon had problems. Lalonde in 10th. Along with Lottridge. Cars that had problems somehow, some way, Terry, come back to finish at the top 10 here at Martinsville.
You got Mark Santana back here on 11th with Patrick Steen in 12th. Jerry Isaac 13th. Ken Ting Lung finishing 14th, 10 seconds back. You got Chris Yedito back here in 15th. Cody Richardson 1 lap down. Don Dawson in 17th. Gregory Carmadon in 18th. Gerard Gilbert 19th. And Mark Rediker in 20th, 52 laps down.
Well, we go now to the driver of Rediker, followed by the rest of the rundown. Hunter, Harkins, Howard, Spicer, Roberts, Gelder, Ludwig, Shank, Shrivner, Gamble. Let's take a look at now the final analysis of the race, as that is the unofficial race results here for the Majors Garage. 15 cautions, 76 laps. So you do the math. 124 green flag laps, 76 laps under caution, and only 2 lead changes. Those 2 lead changes was, of course, David Gargaro Jr. and Mr. O'Neill. Flip-flop it again. That's the way it ended. Coming up, finish line, post-race wrap-up. We are going to grab the top 3 here at Martinsville. What a fun one for the Major Series. It did not disappoint for the charity of Stack Up. We're back in a moment. This is iRacing on LSRTV. And for those who are listening on the Community Radio Network, Team Vengeance 1 and 2, David Gargaro Jr. wins tonight at the Paperclip. So welcome back to coverage of the Majors Series presented by Majors Garage. Tonight's event for the Stack Up charity and the Martinsville Speedway, Virginia, is for M Lovers 300. I'm Wesley Outland. Big thanks to everybody joining us. It was a fun time. We'll recap this event, talk to the drivers. We'll get you ready for the next round of the Major Series every Sunday night throughout the months. And it's an honor to do American Sportsman. We've got Mr. Andrew Kotska joining us. The 047. Your take of this race, man. 3rd place. A pretty wild event. Crazy moments, but when it's all said and done, you settle for a podium.
Yeah, that was a fun race out there tonight. Good win by Dave and second place by Nathan in front of me there. Yeah, we were having some great battles up front on those restarts. It was a great time out there. I was hoping I had a little bit more for them up there, but unfortunately, they had a little bit more on me. If we got a nice long green flag run there at the end, maybe I had something for them. I felt like I can roll the center of the corner a little bit better than Nathan in front of me, but I just didn't have enough time to get there to get in front of him.
Yeah, so I guess I'll ask. Under the caution, a lot of people shared their displeasure over the radio. Did you expect this to go in the manner it did, or did you expect to see green flag conditions?
I was kind of expecting it to be a little caution-filled there at the end. It sounded like there was somebody trying to come through the field with some aggression there, so I was kind of thinking there was going to be some cautions, and unfortunately we had a lot of cautions there at the end. Would have been nice to run it out green to see how everything worked out there. I know my teammate behind me, Cody, he was running behind me fourth most of the night, so sucks to see that he got taken out there late at the end on one of the restarts. So yeah, just hope it went green there. It would have been a fun race between all of us at the front.
Yes, sir. Well, that's your third place driver here tonight, Andrew Kotska. Got second place on the line. Mr. Medina, how was your race tonight?
Pretty wild. Me in the beginning, was a lot of cautions, so all it was just me and Austin just switching spots. It was a tennis match because of the restarts. He would get a good jump, and then in the outside I'd get a jump. So it was just a back and forth thing until the next caution came out. So P2 is kind of like the worst place to be in the beginning, just how many cautions there were. I mean, our plan, we didn't bank on so many cautions. You never set up a strategy banking on cautions. And that definitely went into Austin's favor because obviously his strategy is to stay out, and every time a caution came out, it cooled his tires. So it was very hard to catch him. The low fuel and the cool tires, and it's almost like running a qual set out there. But we were hoping by like 120 laps, 130 laps, people would start dialing it in, getting, collecting themselves, and start, forming a single line or making easy passes and just trying to finish it, using their fast repairs. But those cautions have kept coming out, and it kept giving Austin that advantage of those cold tires with little fuel. We knew we were going to go right by him if this went green from like lap 120 to the end, or maybe a 70 lap green flag to the end, because he was washing up a little bit, and he did end up making a mistake, hitting the wall. Unfortunately, it was a pretty bad outcome because he raced for the lead, short track racing, just going into turn 3. But it was definitely tough, because nothing was going our way for a strategy, and he was just up front, and it's hard to pass, already in this track. If you're not at least 2/10 quicker than the guy in front of you, you're not going to be able to have enough time to make a move. It's just such a short track.
Hey, Nathan, I think we finally got this echo out of my head resolved. I mean, it's scary when you hear yourself one time. When you hear yourself 2 or 3 times back and forth, you definitely think you're going to the loony bin. So, Nathan, the moves, the race, you never bumped your teammate. You stuck with your wingman. Several times you did what you had to do to help out him and O'Neill, and you guys clear by O'Neill, and a lot of respect given. What made you hold back and just be happy for a teammate finish of second for silver and not try to go for a bump and run or any type of thing like that could have took Dave out of the running to win the race, and even yourselves for that outcome? And what's your thoughts of all the crazy chaos that happened in this event, especially in the early going?
I was more focused on, just not having any damage being up there with Dave. I mean, me and him are going for a championship battle here, and I know him being in front definitely doesn't help my case. But I was just afraid that I didn't want to be the reason that he spun. Like a simple tap could cause the car to get loose. Granted, if you tap him in the right spot, yeah, you can move him and no harm done. You can take the spot, but it's just, me and him are just so close in pace that I had to wait for a mistake for him to have, and then I told him a few times, I said, hey, you make a mistake, or if I get a good jump on the restart, I'm taking it. And he agreed. But, when we were single file, it wasn't worth jeopardizing our race, because we're also trying to fight for the team championship. We fought back we clawed our way back. I believe we got past Forge after this round, but we're still a little bit behind Mad Sim Racing, and still 2 more races to go. But we did get a little bit closer to them, so I was kind of like thinking of more of a team aspect than a personal points. But next round with Daytona, that's my strength, road course, and I know I have a huge advantage over Dave, so I know I can get some points back on Dave, and then hopefully we go into the championship finale, pretty close. So it'd be a really fun show.
Be a fun time for sure. Thanks, man. Team Vengeance, ladies and gentlemen, the driver again, Mr. Nathan Medina. Nathan, you got any sponsors? I'll go ahead and let you think about real fast, bud.
Yeah, I want to thank our team, especially Rob Courtney. Rob Courtney did a fantastic job. The P6 or P7, I believe. That's huge for team points. I don't know if that's his first top 10 this season, but definitely close to top 5. I mean, it's a phenomenal job by him. We worked really hard on the set. It's a really race-winning set, and it proved that tonight. So it definitely thanks to the team and all the time we put into practice and dial it in.
No doubt about it. Nathan Medina, Team Vengeance, again finishing in a solid top 3 run in the number 2 spot. We go to victory lane now. His teammate, the man he's running for a championship with, and another win for Dave Gargaro Jr. David, congratulations to you. 2 lead changes. That's been it. Your take of this event. Team Vengeance been really strong, I think, the last couple events we've covered for the Major Series. American Sportsman, and another win for you. Mad respect from your teammate there, Nathan Medina. And this is a fun race to win, isn't it, man? The only thing I think would be the equivalent is somebody give this guy a grandfather clock.
I'll take one of those. I got no room for it, but I'll definitely let it collect dust in the garage. But anyway, this track, we knew we had this circled off at the beginning of the year. We really wanted to do well here. We knew we had a good chance to make a nice setup for it. And I think it played off pretty good. We were really good over the long run, pretty good over the short run. And, towards the end there, we were chasing down Austin, who decided to stay out, which was working out because of the plethora of cautions. But, and then obviously he got into the wall a little bit coming out of turn 2. And, in a race where you have to capitalize on people's mistakes, you don't have a choice. That's what opened up. It was an open lane on the bottom after he hit the wall, and I put my nose there. I seen him coming down. I got on the brakes real hard. I was actually just looking at the telemetry just now. And he came right across the nose, and, I tried to back out as much as I could. And obviously I hate that happens. It's not how I race in real life. It's not how I wanted to see this race go. But I know if the roles were reversed and I hit the wall and I started to come down, I know I would have ended up in the same position as him.
Well, if you did you think there for a second when you started to see the 11 machine come back through the field that if we had maybe one more caution that you might be contending with him or your teammate there for that checkered flag?
Yeah, I mean, Austin was fast, and judging by the people in the chat, he wasn't making many friends coming through the field, so I knew he was coming, and I didn't know how aggressive he'd be if and when he got to me, so I was definitely thinking about it. But obviously I have a teammate buffer there with Nate, and I know Nate's going to put up a fight. He's not just going to let him go, so I was pretty confident that he wouldn't necessarily get to me, but I'm definitely glad he did.
Well, I'll tell you what, as this comes down to, what is it, the final races of this season, what's it going to take for you to hone down the momentum that you and Team Vengeance have, you and Medina have, and race for the championship? But then it looks like it might come down to you and teammates, for that matter, to decide who's going to win it.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't looking forward to it, but it's going to be good. Our team's on a hot streak right now. We've been putting a lot of time in. I think Nate's got me beat at this next track. He's really good at road course. He's been practicing with this Audi already, so I got a little bit of catching up to do there. And then I think the ultimate equalizer is Homestead, so I think we're both going to be really good there. I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, hopefully our team can pull out some more points too, because we're really moving up the team ranks as well.
Well, buddy, congratulations to you. Sponsor time. Thank your sponsors, and it's on to the next one.
Yep. Just want to honestly just thank our team, because our team put in a lot of effort. And big shout out to Rob for his first top 10 of the year. I mean, that's huge for him. So I'm really happy to see that. And all I can say is we're on to Daytona.
And Daytona will be fun. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight, Martinsville winner. Driver for Team Vengeance, Nathan Medina, his teammate, the driver that is, of course, also the winner here tonight. His teammate also in Team Vengeance, David Gargaro Jr. And that is going to wrap them up here tonight at Martinsville Speedway. Big thanks again to the charity Stack Up for being a part of what they do. Go to stackup.org for more information. Veterans are our mission. Gaming is our passion. Stack Up, the charity for this event here tonight. That was the very exciting running of the Virginia is for M Lovers 300 here tonight. Brockton Packard, we'll get your final thoughts on analysis here, man. A good race, final take on things, and when it's said and done, Team Vengeance gets big domination here tonight over everybody at Martinsville. Even O'Neill was probably the only car that might have gave him a threat, and they only led whenever he made a slip and took advantage of those opportunities. A great race for Team Vengeance, and as we move into these final races, no doubt about it, they're going to be somebody to watch for the title.
Absolutely. Those last few laps had all the excitement we could have needed, but we had 200 laps before that had just as much excitement. These guys ran hard, they ran tough, they didn't really give anything to nobody, and I can't wait till the next race. We're going to Daytona with the Audis. That'll be fun, and whew, I'm going to need a nap after this one.
Yes, no doubt about it, buddy, for sure. Final thoughts, Terry Radford. It's been great to have you join us in the Majors Series. Fun time here tonight at Martinsville, no doubt about it, buddy. And now we get ready for the next race. That'll be, by the way, Classic Daytona 2.4, October 23rd. That's Sunday night, October 23rd. Daytona International Speedway Road Course, Nissan, Audis. Your take of this race, buddy, and I hope we can have you back in the booth again soon.
I will need some throat lozenges for calling the Miatas at the Daytona Road Course, because I've been down that path before with Monday Night Race, and I know how that leads. It's close quarters racing, not a whole lot of separation, but tonight was fun. Tonight was electric. You saw a lot of drivers put their skills, put their tempers on full display for everybody to see. Everybody that watched and everybody who listened on CRN here tonight, they understood what this race meant to people. I mean, it's the Major Series. It's Martinsville. It's 300 miles around here, and you had some heat races. Yeah, it's practice, but who needs practice when you got a front chrome horn? You just hit whatever's in front of you. This was fun. I'm super thankful that I was here tonight, and you best believe that I will be here for Daytona.
Daytona will be fun. That'll be the penultimate race of the season for the Major Series, October 23rd. By the way, the finale of the year is at Homestead Miami Speedway. 400 miles, 267 laps with the NASCAR next-gen cars, the Camaro, the Mustang, the Toyota, November 6th. And that will wrap it up for the season for the Major Series. Hard to believe it has flew by so fast since January. Want to thank all the people that make it happen behind the scenes. Thanks, of course, always to the Major Series, presented by Majors Garage. Follow them on social media at Major Series, at Majors Garage. Once again, thanks to Stack Up for being the charity of their choice for the Virginia is for M300. And in addition to that, we want to thank Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, everybody behind Live Sim Racing TV, iRacing, and the Community Radio Network for our production behind the scenes, making it happen. For, of course, also our broadcast crew, our guest analyst, driver, analyst, Mr. Brockton Packard. For Mr. Terry Radford, I'm Wesley Outland. Thank you for joining us tonight at Martinsville, and congratulations to Team Vengeance 1 and 2. David Gargaro Jr., Nathan Medina, big winners at Martinsville in the Virginia is for M Lovers 300. We'll see you at Daytona in